What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. Just doing a quick, or not a quick. I always say quick, and I'm always lying, right? But anyway, it's a mic check. I'll be on here maybe an hour or so. I'm on StreamYard as far as on my phone, so I'm curious to test out some of the capabilities of it. Sorry, I just fucking woke up. Pretty well, not woke up, but pretty much I had a headache and shit. So bear with me. Anyway, have y'all filter in here, see what's going on. Yeah, what's up? What's up? I'm trying to see if I can. Okay, see how to bring. If I can bring somebody on, how to bring somebody on. Okay, I see how this goes. All right, yeah. I may do streams on here if I need to bring somebody up, because obviously my YouTube is much more value to my Instagram doing that dual shit. All right, so it's interesting. Okay. Yeah, and you know what? I got to give credit to the white boys in StreamYard, because they want to be assholes about it. They could have said this feature is available if you pay, and they would definitely be within their rights to do that. Absolutely. MOT, you there? MOT, click on the link again. I don't know why I didn't bring you up, but I saw you. I know you had some you were going in on Ramil's panel. I didn't really watch the full thing. Okay, first of all, so MOT, definitely come back. As far as Don Lemon, I mean, dude, Don Lemon's gay. End of. At the risk of getting this demonetized, at the risk of getting my super chat. I mean, Don Lemon. I'll say this about Don Lemon. Don Lemon has a very careful image that is very, very carefully protected. So if you actually do any kind of real, I've never done any real research, but I've seen stuff like when they break that. What's up, Super Trez?
What's going on, Ed? Don't let me stop your monologue. I'm just jumping in with you.
No. I'm really testing this out. I just put that 50 cent in there just to do it, but I'm on my phone, so this is actually cool, man. Because now I can do these streams from my phone, and I can be walking around. Huh?
Wait. You started the stream from your phone?
Yes, HostGator changed it to where now you can actually host streams from your phone. Like, that's supported.
Oh, that's a game changer right there.
Yeah, so everything you see, I'm on my phone. On my computer, I did this all from my phone.
Oh, I'm on my iPad right now.
Yeah, I can't do that with I got my iPad too. My fucking iPad, that shit'll lose energy. Like, it's one thing about Apple products, man. The motherfuckers take too long to charge.
Yeah, that's true.
But
they got they got that proprietary charger. That's part of the problem.
Well, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I got lower. Like, I got the sixth generation when the seventh generation came out. I got that when it was on sale. I just got a 6S right now. That's the phone I was playing with, because I'm more of a Galaxy person. I'll probably upgrade on that soon. Yeah, So if that 6S has always had a battery issue. I actually just got done watching Keynote today. I had to do that, for my job. Ask me why. But anyway, I got to see some of the new shit that they're doing. They're doing some really cool shit. They're definitely doing some upgrades with the 14 iOS, and yeah, they're doing some big stuff. Apple's definitely getting it in. Appreciate the super chat, Blackfoot. But anyway, since you on here, and I'll definitely bring a couple more guests on as y'all come on. Well, yeah, I mean, now they used to kind of do that. Apple hasn't been really doing that like that. No, so first thing, just to really talk about that a little bit. One thing to keep in mind is, I can't really go into what I do, but I will say this: if you have like an Apple computer, there's folks that have Apple computer. I mean, I say folks, I mean a lot of folks. They have Apple computers for like 10 years or so. Like they keep them things for a long time. So I know a lot of the phone folks that have phones always want to throw at Apple, talk about, oh, they always make us upgrade and they do this and do that. But the reality is Apple doesn't really, that's one of the things about being a software company on top of the hardware, is it's a little bit different in what you're dealing with when you're dealing with all the other companies where they're dealing with Android. So plus, if you think about it, older company, like not older companies, but like if you look at like Galaxy, what they do is they recreate the phone, put some new technology into an older phone, and then they resell the phone. That's, if you look at the majority of the cheaper cell phone market, that's really just rewrap phones. Like the A10 and shit, that's the Galaxy 7. Just maybe a stronger chip in there, you know. So you got to keep that in mind versus
Yeah.
Apple doesn't do that. Apple is like right now, if you go on their website, the oldest phone that you're gonna, I mean, the SE replaced the 8. It was the 8 for like the last 3 months, and then in the 6 months before that. So it's like they, so it's only so long they're going to support all that stuff. But even the 6 can go to the newest operating system. So, but they were doing that and for a little bit, but they actually, whatever. But anyway, let me see. All right, so let's get into this 50s. So I'm curious what you got to say, Super Triz. You're actually a good person up on here. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Stay ready.
Okay, so keep in mind, like I said, I had a headache all day, so I had to chill out. So anyway, basically, folks are mad because 50 Cent, black women are mad because 50 Cent said he prefers exotic women.
That. I know exactly what you're talking about. Go ahead. I know what you're talking about now.
All right, great. So, 50 Cent says he prefers exotic women, and as usual, black women get upset, they get angry. They, we already know what time it is. It's just, the same chicks that were just praising Neo's ex baby mama or baby mama for getting a white dude that's got some money are the same chicks that are angry and they want to perpetuate this racism by colorism bullshit. One thing that gets on my nerves with black women is black women in this situation, and you have the ones that really push this shit, like your Janelle Monáe's, and then you have a lot of women that buy into this shit because they're just in their feelings. It kills me about this fake sexual oppression that black women are trying to basically constantly accuse black men of, trying to make it seem like black men use patriarchal power against black women. So in that sense, you all may not be as bad as the white man, but we have our complaints just like the white bitches do. This is a myth. This is a lie. This is not true, and this is why you don't really hear women actually debate this shit. Because if you compare it to like Dr. Frances Quest Wilson and how she used to get on these academic panels debating these white supremacists on the idea of black people having lower IQs and shit like that. Basically, how white people like to pat themselves on the back and justify, them being cunning. And when I say cunning, I mean like willing to do bad shit to for their group. And then they try to say, okay, we have a higher IQ. It's like, no, you all are more violent. It's just you all focus it a different way. And you can tell that because even when you remove black people from the equation, World War I, World War II, right? So anyway, bringing it back, you don't see that. You don't see like you will never hear really Dr. Tommy Curry engaging with a black feminist or Dr. Tia Son Johnson, because these women because once they establish that the dude actually knows his shit and you don't even got to know your shit at that level. Once you actually are going to ask certain questions, then they're not going to engage you because they know they don't have real answers for the things that you're going to ask. Like, you will never hear the question on the mainstream media or in the radio section of the media. You will never hear, has the black community ever been a patriarchy? You will never hear that question. Because if you hear that question, you have a choice. You either gotta lie, and if you're somebody of credibility, if you lie and try to hold to the lie, that may work for a time, but at the end of the day, it will turn out you're not credible, or you're gonna look stupid. Because the answer to that question is the black community has never been a patriarchy, and if you answer it that way, I'm bringing you in a second. If you answer that, then you have to then admit that that opens up too many other questions women don't want to answer. And I bring this up for this reason. Like, I've been on a couple of different panels, and Faith is always like around. Like, Faith, like, even when O'Shea just did a video, I don't know what black woman pissed Umar off, but Umar is saying some real shit for once, like what the fuck he should have been saying the whole time. And Faith was in there before the fucking video even premiered, talking about oh well, black women young, this is it. But this is a chick that she's already admitted to me that the black community never had a patriarchy, yet she still stays in her quote unquote truth about how she feels, because it's not about what the reality of it is, it's about how you feel. And if you're dealing with folks, even women, that they can't take they can't separate how they feel from what the real facts are, then at that point you're talking to a child. So anyway, bringing all that back to setting the table back to 50 Cent. We know 50 Cent's a petty dude. 50 Cent's not the most moralist. I got respect for 50 Cent from a business perspective, at least from the lane that he goes at it from an entertainer's standpoint, because I think he takes a lot of risks. I got the same kind of respect for 50 Cent, same reason I got respect for Kanye on that business front, because they take risks. They do a lot of things black men can pull a lot of points from. But anyway, he made those statements. Obviously one of his baby mamas, he's got black. What kills me about this, and now I'm about to bring you in. Couple of things. Number one, 50 Cent has black women that are his baby mamas. All the women he's actually had children with are not exotic. I think he has one, maybe two. And I think his first child is his oldest is from a black woman, and that's the one that, by the way, hates him the most. Interesting how that works. So this idea that 50 Cent isn't fucking, or they're not black women not benefiting from his wealth is not true. The second thing, what he was really describing is that they were angry. But anyway, what are your thoughts about what he said?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Edward. I appreciate you bringing me up. It's always a pleasure chopping it up with you. And you kind of jump right into the the really, really deep aspects of it, not just surface level evaluation of that situation. And I definitely want to get into that deeper thought, because that's what I really like. But I really just want to chip at the surface. I want to preface it, this conversation with just a real surface level observation, in that the reason why I totally ignore black women when they complain about things like this, because this isn't the first time. There's been other celebrities who have alluded to the fact that they would prefer women who are quote unquote exotical, but the real issue is that no matter where on the sexual marketplace spectrum a woman is, whether she be black, exotic, or otherwise, she can never complain about that dynamic when any woman, I don't care if she's fat, she's ugly, she always will have a wider variety of choices than men do. So when a woman comes to a man to complain about her lack of options, or they complain about the choices of others that doesn't include her particular demographic, I just look at them like they're freaking crazy. Like, why would that even matter to somebody like me? Why? And a lot of guys, either they're guilt tripped, or they use this as an opportunity to virtue signal, like, yeah, man, screw 50 Cent, man, I love my black queens. They can't wait for an example like this to pop up, so that way they can appear on the scene.
Those are emotional cucks.
Yeah, swoop down with their cape and say, well, I'm not like all these other guys. I'm different. So, from that perspective, I just want to say that, like when guys hear that stuff, just bear in mind, like they're complaining about, it's almost like the same concept when we hear, white people complain about how they can't get a job, or we see like a white person that's homeless and begging for money. We look at them like, what? All the opportunities you had, and now you begging? So when black women, get in their chat rooms, all I think about is that it is not just black women, it's any women who will complain about, the dynamics. It's like, well, look at all the guys that you've passed over. I don't want to hear any woman complain about the dating marketplace, period. Not here in America, at least. But I'll let you, I'll pass it back to you on that one.
Absolutely. Okay, so breaking down the dudes real quick. Dudes do that. Okay, so let me answer it this reason. We already know why they do it. Some dudes do it because they have an agenda. Some dudes do it because they're emotional cucks. And I mean, that's really what it is. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They have this feeling, biochemical feelings that they get from trying to protect their mother, because that's really where it comes from, that mama protection. But here's the question I would ask, particularly for both of these groups. Are you really helping sisters by gassing them up? Like, seriously, are you really helping them by giving them an ego boost that, quite frankly, they don't care about? Because at the end of the day, the only thing you are is you're just a commenter, you're just an avatar, you're not nobody they really care about. So all you're really doing is kind of like throwing a bucket of water in an ocean, because that's how big it is for females and their goddamn egos. So also think about it this way. Sorry, I'm getting set up. When it comes down to helping women, like if your intention is really help females, are you telling them jumping on 50 Cent gonna snap them out of the mentality they already have? Are you really gonna help them get the outcomes by saying 50 Cent ain't shit? 50 Cent got his money, he got his kids. It is he's took his blows. It is what it is. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because what folks need to understand is most men don't even give a shit about leading black women to a better outcome. They don't. They're like this mini me where they just care about dealing with this ego called the black female, not the actual person. And at the end of the day, black men, quite frankly, let's keep it all the way real. Black men do it for very selfish reasons. Black men do not do it because they care about women. And to be fair, a lot of black women, when they're talking shit, they'll say, "Oh well, oh my bad, we got somebody else." A lot of sisters will say, "Oh
hey,
well,
it's me, Kobe."
yeah. All right, Kobe. One moment. They'll say, "Oh well, this is why we don't date nice guys, because beta guys, because everything they do is deceptive. They don't really care about us. They just say that because they want to fuck." Okay, there's some truth to that. But guess what? That doesn't mean that black women don't take the time to accept their ego boost when it benefits them. They want to pick and choose when they want to do that. The same way how a lot of times they want to pick and choose when they want to go to the cleanup man after they've been ran through and they know it's over. The same situation. It's kind of like, I hate to say it like this, but I'm gonna start calling it the Cam Newton move, where nobody wants to pick you up, so now it's time to take that $1 million deal from the New England Patriots that you really didn't want to be at, because you really think you better than like Patrick Mahomes. You see what I'm saying? It's that deal, because that's the only deal that anybody's gonna take, because at the end of the day, you just hit so many blows, to the point where nobody even wants to pick you the fuck up. So at the end of the day, dudes do it for their own selfish reasons. Dudes don't give a fuck. And it's just shallow surface level bullshit. That's the main part on that. As far as to speak directly to what you said, I mean, you're absolutely right, but you gotta remember, women are self-centered. Women are thinking about them. They don't think about anybody. They don't think about giving to get.
Yeah,
They just think about their shit, their emotional shit. But anyway, go ahead, Kobe.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because it took me a while. I wasn't in denial about it, but it was a tough pill to swallow that you kind of got to be cynical when dealing with them.
And to be fair,
Because
you got to be cynical when you're dealing with all women, but with black
that's
women, it's
true.
a 80 black men. The black male relationship to black women is a very interesting relationship, and I think a lot of people don't really like to admit that, but it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is true though, but it's not it's less bullshit. You reduce the fuckery of non-black chicks. It's less fuckery, like you reduce it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So as far as did you all hear what 50 Cent said?
yeah, I saw it on the Lil Wayne's podcast. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember what 50 Cent been through.
Well,
He take
I'm
care.
just saying. What do you? Yeah. So what do you think about what he said? And then I'll get Seattle.
There's
We can.
nothing wrong. I mean, go ahead.
I didn't hear what he said actually. So if y'all could quickly
Okay,
recap, that'd be cool.
okay.
All right, hold on, time out. Appreciate the super triz at the 99.99. So appreciate that. So much appreciated to that, man. Look, donating to the church of information technology and limited bullshit. So anyway, Seattle, what we're talking about right now, and this will piggyback into other topics because I'm testing out the Streamlab because I'm on this on my phone. I'm actually hosting this from my phone. What we're talking about is basically the comments 50 Cent made and a lot of females being butthurt, how they like to use the myth of black male sexual oppression to justify their feminism and just rotate around 50 Cent's comments. Also, Amari Hardwick, the dude that played Ghost, has had to justify marrying his white wife again because he bigged up a sister. And then he had this
Wow.
long post. Yeah, he had this long post bigging up the sister. It's one sister that she had a accomplishment. And then somebody in the comment section, a random nobody, because this dude's a celebrity, basically said, well, you with a white woman, so you shouldn't be picking up no black female. And then he made this long response to it, justifying, who he dated. So we'll lump that in there too. So anyway, go up, finish your thoughts, Kobe. Then
Okay.
we'll do Seattle. And
It,
then, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I saw what he said. He's just saying that he never had access to the type of women, and he kind of been there, done that. Because his first baby mama drew him through the mud with the child support, turning his son against him. So he's like, I've been there, done that. Let me just do what I want. It kind of feels like affirmative action. They make dating like it's like affirmative action when you don't date a black chick. They make it feel that way. So
Interesting
that's what I.
thoughts.
So yeah, that's what happened. And then, as far as I guess Amari Rodriguez, because I didn't see the post. I think I heard people talking on it, but I mean, I don't know, this shame and guilt in them pretty much. Is that what's going on with Amari Hardwick situation? There's shame and guilt them talking about
Yeah.
who he's dating.
Basically saying don't put a pro black post up because you're not really pro black, but you're with a white bitch. So shut up and know your place.
To be
So
fair,
Seattle,
the Black Lives Matter movement's got two, a transgender and a racial relationship. So talk about irony, right?
that's actually a really good point. I'm gonna circle back to that. Seattle, and I got you, Super
yeah.
Triz. Yeah, so pop back up. But Seattle. So what are your thoughts? Did you hear what 50 Cent said? That's my first question.
Nope, sure didn't. But I can get a rough
Okay,
idea of what he said from what y'all talking
okay,
about.
okay. So let me circle back to you with that. MOT, did you hear it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So what do you think about what he said?
I mean, they keep thinking that this infinite choice that they have within black men in society that actually black men don't want within their personal life. Like once you get a taste of the body type and femininity that you don't have to fucking work for, it's a wrap, dude. Especially if you have that kind of fuck you money that you don't need their fucking opinion anymore. Now at this point, it's like it's hard to believe with the level of treachery in this environment that especially a person who's been through all that type of shit like him cannot feel the way that he feels. Of course the dude was going to experience with other culture. And of course he was going to fucking experience better, whether he had money or not. It's just that the level of loyalty that sisters expect, they don't fucking give out at all.
And the funny thing about it is when you hear the exotic term, it's interesting with these terms. So you hear the exotic term. Exotic is really code word for like the Kim Kardashian method. Kim Kardashian, I know people. Here's the thing: she's Armenian, but even if you look at actually who's 50 Cent's been with, I don't think he has kids by any chick that's actually white. When people say exotic, what
Not
they
at
really
all.
talk about is mixed. That is mixed. So it's the light skin complaint. Yeah, that's really what it is. It's always, you have to look at a lot of this shit through the sexual politicking lens, because that's all it really is. And it's this idea. Also, another thing is, keep in mind that when you look at, the exotic and all this other bullshit, you got women, they never rail against females changing their bodies, getting asses, getting titties. You don't ever hear a
No,
contingent of
not at
black
all.
women or feminists saying, you hear slut shaming, but you don't ever hear these women, you're real, like the real bodies matter movement. Don't let these men tell you that you're not good enough. You don't hear that. You don't hear that at all, because that's something they want to do. And so my reason why I bring that up is because they buy into the system. They just don't like their place in it. So remember, they're not against the social sexual order. They are against their place in it and their inability to control their men, because they know they're not controlling other men, but to control their men and the access to their men, which quite frankly, no woman has that control. And I just wanted to bring that into the lexicon. What's up, Roger?
What's happening, man?
What's up, Charles?
I didn't
Hey,
hear
No,
it.
my bad. He was in the chat.
I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
didn't.
You say you didn't hear what?
Go ahead, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh,
Oh, no,
okay, I
no,
was
no,
about
no.
to say
I
I
was saying,
didn't.
yeah, I was saying, what's up, Charles? My bad. Like, I'm not firing on all cylinders right now, so just bear with me. So, did you hear? You said you didn't hear what 50 Cent said?
I didn't
No.
hear. No, I didn't hear exactly what he said. I was just talking with some folks about what he said, but I didn't hear exactly what he said because I didn't actually see the clip. But my thing is that at the end of the day, it should be a big so what. 50, 50, a grown man. He been a grown man for a long time. He done dealt with black women. If you take this as an issue where he'll never talk to a black woman again, because that's how people are kind of taking it. Man, he gave black women a shot. It didn't work out. Let that man go and explore if that's what he want to do. But it's not like he ain't never tried to do nothing with no black woman. You know what I'm saying? If a black woman would have done right by him, I'm sure he'd be married to a black woman right now. You
Yeah.
know, so at the end of the day, like, what did 50 do but try? And
Yeah.
Uh,
nobody can really say that he won't try again. You
yeah,
know, he's
it's
just talking about
never
what he doing
that.
right now.
He just declared his preferences. I'm gonna add in this, and I'm gonna bring in Seattle. So you got the Lil Wayne situation where a lot of these females are butthurt about not one, not two, bigger white women. You got the Jenny Mai situation, with fucking Young Jeezy. You always got to bring this shit in context. When all these dudes have in common, with the exception of Ghost, is that they all have kids with black women. So this idea that they're just absolutely like discriminating against black women, which is the argument, is actually false. So anyway, Seattle, what are your thoughts? Now I brought in kind of all of those situations. What are your thoughts about these complaints and shit like that? Now I'll move the conversation along, and then we'll start back with Super Triz.
Again, I didn't hear exactly. I didn't hear what he says. I mean, your
Basically,
stream is the
50
first
Cent
time.
just 50 Cent justified. 50 Cent basically justified why right now he prefers exotic women.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, this is the main thing I got to say. Y'all, it is 2020. I don't care. I mean, especially in the black manosphere, but period point blank, if you haven't acknowledged that it's a global dating market now, especially for men with money, you're sleeping. So especially these black women, man, you can't be on that old school agenda that BGS talks about. Like, they're still trying to use the same playbook from like the 70s, 80s, 90s. Y'all, it is 2020. Even a broke nigga can find out what his value is worth with like some nice pics and Tinder gold. So I mean, what do they? I don't understand why it's like such a this big old deal. And I kind of
Well,
want to ask you that. Kind of want to ask you that, Edward. Like, what's your opinion on the dating
And
market
Kobe,
being
give me a
global
second
now?
because I'm gonna bring Lori up real quick and I'm gonna drop you down because it's only let me do 6 right now. So I think now we're finding one of these limitations of the mobile.
Okay, you'll put me
So that's
back in a minute.
It's all
yeah.
right.
Okay,
So
no
it's
no,
problem.
actually a good test.
Well,
All right,
Go ahead.
But yeah,
What
y'all
were
are like,
you
and
saying?
the proof is in the pudding, bro. It's like you're seeing black man after black man, the select black men with means dating out, dating out, dating out. Like they know what the deal is. I don't understand. Oh, we gotta sit here and
My
do this
thoughts on
role
that. My
play.
thoughts on that is it's a control thing. That's really when you look at what the issue is. It actually has nothing to do with the white woman. Because even if you replace all in with a Marilyn Negris, it's a control thing. That's the issue. And this is the greatest power that a black man has is the power of choice, and that is to choose also not to. And so what happens is when you're dealing with men that are valuable men, so you've already removed, because you got to remember, Vivica Fox just got done not too long ago saying that 50 Cent likes dildos in his ass. And I'm going to say that
Uh,
straight like that. Because she said that in
God
like,
damn, man.
yeah, she said that like late 2019. Y'all remember that shit when she was trying to air his ass out?
Wow.
Y'all,
Yeah,
do
but
y'all
I don't
remember
give.
that?
remember that.
I
I
remember, but
remember
I
that.
don't give much credence to what black women say about black men in a negative
I'm
way
not,
because they
but
lie
that's not
so
my
much.
point. That's that,
let,
but yeah, absolutely. But I'm not get. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is understand that like this is the context by which Black 50 is saying when he says they're angry. This is the shit he's had to deal with. I mean, 50, and you can't say 50 not. Remember, 50 Cent got shot 9 times. So we can't play that he ain't masculine enough. He ain't that nigga. You can't play that argument. So I was even gonna go here, but if you got somebody like 50 basically saying the same shit, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, you can't say, oh well, his masculinity, fucking power
hell
level
no.
isn't where it needs to be. And you can't say that with him. Plus 50 deals with black women like with a level of pettiness that, a lot of black men need to emulate. But my point is, and like I said, normally I go into deeper shit than this, but like I said, I'm just doing this test. Is even with 50, I mean, he's just parroting out loud because at the end of the day, he doesn't make music like that no more. It's really nothing they can do. 50 is, well, that's not true because 50 does power, but power's over. So it's not like he really needs women. And when he gets another show, I mean, he knows how to put out certain content that they're gonna want to see it regardless. Because if he can put out Ghost and then that show went as long as it did, knowing who he was with, then at that point they like that thuggery shit. Remember, and here's another thing to think about. Here's the next round of questions. I'm curious. I didn't watch Power like that, but Power was very popular. Obviously, it was popular with black people. Obviously, it was very popular with black women. You cannot have a successful black show without black women. Sorry, especially in today's age. Would you all agree with that? Especially
Oh,
in the
sure.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
sure.
okay.
God. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
not to be argued.
Yeah, you
so
need
what
that view.
I'm curious. So I'm gonna start with Super Triz. What I'm curious about is why do you all think that Power? I think Power did 5 seasons. We'll assume it's five
Uh,
seasons. In order to do it was at least 5 seasons, and you need to be syndicated to get. You need to get 5 to be syndicated. So it was considered a successful show. It was a show that didn't get canceled, but that actually was ended. So in those metrics, it was a successful show. Um, Especially it not being on mainstream television either, where people had to actually go and get like stars and shit to actually get the show. So yeah, we can pretty much on that say it was a successful show. So with that being
Already.
said, explain to me why do you all think that despite black women knowing that the actor was married to a white woman, why black women still kept on watching the show and it didn't
Oh my.
just fall out?
Well, I mean, this is very obvious to. I'm pretty sure everybody on the panel. Power illustrated every. Well, I want let me not say every. Power illustrated the dream of a large portion of a particular demographic of women. Their dream was to have this edgy guy who's entwined in illegal activity, but he's a family man, and he has some entrepreneurial leanings. That's what every woman's dream is. Every woman, they may not have necessarily thought of this themselves, but if they could have somebody articulate what they wanted in a man, Ghost would be that guy. Now, I think that obviously this doesn't account for every woman. So let me be clear about that. But a lot of women want that.
Yeah.
that's and
Majority
they're
of
able
them.
to live, they're able to live vicariously through that show. The whole drama, the other women, because you can't have certain women. If you have a functional, healthy, cohesive relationship without a whole lot of conflict and drama, they're uninterested. They need some type of cheating scandal. They need you to get shot a couple times. They need the house to get broken into. They need you to be
They need
arrested.
the excitement.
Yeah,
You
they
saying
need
they need a fucking storyline?
Yeah.
Oh God, the reality show female. Oh, we actually going to some good shit here. Keep going.
Because see, they want to get on their timelines, on their Facebook, and they want to talk about all the drama that they've been through because they feel like it adds character to them. Like because a woman has to feel like she done been, and I find some women will make up some stuff. They'll make a mountain out of a molehill just to seem like they've been through so much in their life.
Yeah.
And they always want to act like, life hasn't been easy for me. I've had a lot of struggles and all. Like, shut up. You live at home with your mom. You live in the suburbs. You ain't been through no struggle. But let them tell it. They done been through it all. And so they want a guy to kind of add to that mystique and just give them that excitement that they so desperately need in their lives.
Yeah. Okay. Can I go right after?
I can.
All right, hold on. Let me pause this real quick. All right, so I want to let y'all know one thing. I figured there's an issue with this mobile, y'all, is that it's not allowing me to do more. It's making me up. Actually, now it's telling on me. I see what it's saying. It's saying I need to upgrade. So I'll probably have to upgrade to the actual paid version. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm probably not gonna do no 8-panel TV. 9 times moderating so many of y'all. Really, some of y'all, I really wanted to keep it at 3. Really, right now. So just keep that in mind. I see people in the back. I will drop some folks off, but I really don't want to play the drop-off game constantly. I just want people to have their piece for a minute. And if we go further, then we go further. I'm telling you right now, Super Trez, MOT, or Roger are not coming down unless they decide to come down. So y'all be patient. I see you in the back, Joe. I did tell Kobe I'd bring him back. So keep that in mind. So anyway, cause this is a good flow. This is something I didn't even think about, but when you think about that shit, it is true with the storyline shit. Every bitch wants a reality show, and the dude has to feed into that. Otherwise, he's considered boring. And the thing that's interesting about that is a lot of dudes. When you hear dudes talk about dudes that are boring, from the dating coaches or whatever, they never go into this angle. They never really explain it. They just make it seem like, oh, well, you're just either socially awkward, you're boring, you're lame, but they never go into the psychology of the female and then really properly say, this is where you don't align. It may not be that you're all these things. It may be that you're an average dude with average social skills, with average, things going on in your life. Not necessarily average is bad, but it's not going to be this hyper excitement. And remember, reality TV started what in like 2007? Like when you look at Fear Factor and all that shit. I look at the birth of reality TV with American Idol. That was the first really initial shows as far as iteration.
Real quick,
Survivor, early
reality
2000s.
TV started. TV started with The Real World on MTV. That was some time ago.
Okay,
Real World.
But I think it really took off to where The Real World was still kind of a unique thing. I think it really took off with the succession of it. You talk about The Real World, it's kind of like talking about
how long ago was Jersey Shore though?
The Real World was before Jersey Shore. It's kind of like saying that the comic book industry started with Blade. Like with the movies, we know it kind of started with X-Men is when you started to see it didn't even start with Spider-Man. It started with X-Men when you started to see the success and succession of the trend. But you're absolutely right with The Real World. That was probably one of the precursors of it to show that there was a market. So Super Trez, you actually are right about that. But I look at Fear Factor. That's when we start seeing all these other reality fucking shows. Because even technically, you could argue that anyway. We'll go in like 2007, 2006, 2000. 2005.
Edward, to your point, what we saw in 2005, 2007-ish was we saw lightly scripted reality shows. See, when The Real World, that was more organic. They just put certain people together, and then they kind of instigated certain situations. But like in 2005, 2007, that's when we actually saw writers kind of lightly scripting some of those scenarios. And so that's when reality TV really blew up because now you had these fantastical situations that would never occur in real life.
Yeah, so basically we won't say 2005. So when you think about it, it's been 15 years of females and how they've been cultured. That's pretty much 3 years under a generation. That's pretty much kind of the point I wanted to make. So now you got a generation of females raised with this fucking mentality of every bitch needs a reality show. We're not even gonna get into the shit on your phone. We're not even gonna get into, you put shit on your phone. We're not even getting to Facebook, all that stuff. It's almost at least a generation, if not 2/3 of a generation of every bitch thinks they need a reality show. So as a man, if you're not either taking the damn picture, shooting the damn video, or hey, you're not the fucking cameraman, meaning you're not to be seen, you're to be used to shoot, or you're not the dude that can be her reality show eye candy, then you're being put in this thing about being boring or lame. I never really thought about it like that until now, to be honest with you. So anyway, rest of y'all, MOT then Roger, and then
Yeah.
actually, scratch that. MOT then Seattle.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go after this because I gotta wake up early in the morning. But
Okay.
I call it like the Mary J. Blige kind of album kind of shit. Like every woman wants her Mary J. Blige kind of storyline of how she been through a whole bunch of shit that she put herself through, by the way. And it's like if they were able to find the type of guy that can justify why they're on the market over and over again, it plays into the fact of how they can deal with these options out here. Because if a guy has it all together and boring, then their actual spree of men that they can justify being with would be very small. But if they keep going after the same type of guy over and over and over again, they could be like, all these men are fucked up because every man that I'm sexually attracted to always turned out to be the guy. But okay, why don't you find a stable guy that don't have any of that shit? That guy's boring. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
here's the fucking helmet. Have a nice day.
You knocked it out the park with that one. That's right on the money right there.
yeah. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, bro. Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already-
Well,
what's going on,
anyway, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Peace to the panel, to everybody. But yeah, man. Shout out to 50 Cent on being going the SYSBM way. I wish I had some champagne and some glasses to basically give him a proper toast. But it's weird because following 50 Cent's career, the first kid that he had was with a black woman, and ironically, she's the one that gives him the most amount of trouble. Putting that aside, I feel like the reason that black women are really pissed off about this stuff is because the fairy tale just ended badly for a lot of black women. You know what I mean? Black women and other women always feel like black men are their personal property. That, oh well, he needs to go find a good black woman or whatever, your mama black kind of shit. And we're in 2020, and the thing is, it's an open marketplace out here. Nobody's actually doing all that black love and all that other kind of stuff that people really be talking about. And every
some people
time,
are.
Some people are. Some people
Well,
are.
if you
But
talk
the
about
thing
millennials, if you're talking about millennials and like late millennials, then all right, I'll give you that more so than not.
Right. I mean, the new generation is a lot more awake to this kind of lifestyle, and that means it's only going to get worse, right?
It's just gonna slide. It's gonna build momentum. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and the reason that these women are pissed off about people like 50 Cent going out of the dating pool for them is that they want men like 50 Cent to be the ones that call them the Black Queen and stuff like that. There could be all kind of people that are qualified to do whatever they want to do, but as long as they're lumped in with the educated lame status, the women don't care about what happens to those men. They care about men like 50 Cent and other men who are the men that they want, right? And that goes back to MOT's point.
Well,
And that's why this
remember when
Go ahead.
Tyrese called that mixed woman her Black Queen, but see the
Oh,
funny thing about it is
right.
she's
She
a
was from
Kamala chick.
Trinidad, and yeah,
So it's not like she was
she was
devoid of
from the
melanin.
islands.
Yeah, she's a Kamala. I mean, basically, that's a Kamala Harris level chick. So
Sure.
all these women will tell you to vote for Kamala Harris. So it's all about this sexual politics. And when it comes to the light skinned chick, it's always move them in, move them out. It doesn't matter. It's all about competition. And my thing is, they always presented it is, if you're going to be in competition, are you really competing? Because then this is where I look at, women need to model themselves after a male Negra. If you can't do that, look at Kelly Rowland. Now, obviously, you may not want to model as far as who she ended up getting, but at the end of the day, when you look at like Kelly Rowland's mannerisms, like it's definitely somebody that's gonna have a better shot at getting the type of dude that you want. Remember when
Sure.
Nelly and Kelly did that song? I hate to say dudes swoon, because that sounds like I'm trying to call them bitch made. But a lot of dudes, let's say that a lot of dudes responded very, very well to that song with Nelly and Kelly. And Kelly was the one that
Sure.
made that pop. I remember that, and that may be before y'all time. Because I forget how old that song is.
I was
But
like 7.
yeah, but a lot of dudes responded very strongly to that. And that's when I really saw. I said Kelly could actually have a career on her own. She won't be what Beyonce is, but she doesn't have to be. She could be in that
No.
next tier. Maybe not even, because Rihanna
Sure.
and Beyonce are kind of in the same tier, even though Rihanna's lower than Beyonce on that tier. But Kelly could have definitely
Sure.
been definitely very successful in her own right. So anyway, my point is, there are women for Black women to model themselves after, but those are not the women they choose to model themselves after. Then they choose to cry. But anyway.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, and part of the reason that Rihanna is in that first tier is probably because she got more of a push. Because sometimes when you come out of a solo gig, or when you're part of a group, your solo career never gets the type of push as you did when you.
Well,
were part
Jay-Z
of a
made
group.
sure Beyonce
Yeah, I mean,
got that push, and nobody wants to give Jay-Z
Of
that fucking
course.
credit. I remember Crazy in Love, because
Of course.
that was 2005, and she didn't have that slump
Sure.
that even Justin Timberlake had. Or what women got to do, they got to hold themselves out to kind of separate themselves and shit like that. She didn't have that. Like she came out the gate to the point where Destiny's Child wasn't really a broken up group, because they ended up doing like 1 or 2 more albums after that. So Jay-Z and her dad and Jay-Z were like really big elements in that. But and I would give a little bit more credit on that front to
Sure.
Jay-Z. But once again, Black women don't like to give Black men their credit. They like to act like, oh, Beyonce just did shit on her own. That's bullshit. Without the 2 men in her life, which is
No.
Jay-Z and her dad, you don't have a Beyonce. I don't fuck her mom. Her mom provides the genetics and her mom provides the style. But to be honest with you, Beyonce is actually not that much like her mom. Her mom has a lot of passive aggression. Solange is a lot more like, her mom is in the middle of what like Solange is and what Beyonce is. Because Beyonce will show elements of
Sure.
passive aggression sometimes, but so you see what I'm saying. So anyway, my point
Sure.
to all of this is, and I'll let you finish. Well, finish your thoughts, and then I'll move on to the rest of the folks. Yeah.
I don't necessarily remember where I was because
Oh, my
you
bad.
came in there, but
Yeah, I
but
did,
yeah,
my
like
bad.
I remember what I was talking about. I remember what I was. It's okay, bro. It's okay. What I was saying was that Kelly Rowland didn't get the type of push that Rihanna and Beyonce did, but yeah, like to be honest, she's had a respectable solo career herself, so that's not anything to be ashamed of, But the
Especially
thing is, people
internationally.
people like Kelly Rowland are very they carry themselves with a decent amount of grace. You don't hear people like Kelly Rowland getting in a lot of issues with a lot of things. So, she deserves credit for that because, you got all these people that basically are walking tabloid fodder, and she's not one of those. And she deserves credit for that being the case.
Yeah.
That's all.
So I want to get everybody's take on this part as far as the reality show part, the one and women, and we're going to flip this a little bit. I'm curious about what y'all think about the dude that's with Kelly Rowland. So that's something I want to hear before I end this. I want to get y'all in on that. I may have to drop one other person down because I do want Joe at least to get his piece. I know I told Kobe I'd bring him back, so he is back. So just bear with me with that. But we're going to go into that round. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I want to elaborate on a piece you said earlier. You said that guys kind of need to have that like kind of TV show, like reality. That's what they kind of get off of. And
They want to
I remember when I was writing erotica, that was one of the first things I learned. Huh?
Oh, that's interesting. That means you have yeah, hold on, because this dude talk about writing erotica, so you got a unique insight with that Zane bullshit. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to hear it.
Yeah, well, one of the first things I used to write erotica, and when you write erotica, the most lucrative, you got to delve into the female aspect. The male market is there, but it's not that big. But the first one of my red pill awakenings actually was just writing erotica. And I remember I would write stuff like what's his name? Like the stories of like, he's like a bad boy, but he's also got money. And it's kind of crazy because like Ghost and Power is like vanilla compared to what's in the erotica world. Like some of the original, like way before 50 Shades was even dreamt of. Most of the best selling and like most popular erotica novels was like stuff with like pirates coming to town, raping the women, or the big executive. He takes the woman, he puts her in her basement, like he's got her prisoner, and like it's just rape all the way around. So I saw from an early age actually, like, wow, is this what chicks are into? Like the quote unquote edgy thing that dudes talk about that chicks look for. That's the entry level. Like it goes higher and higher than that. And when I went to Seattle, right, I did my podcast, and I would do my podcast live, right? I would go in like a club or a bar, even bookstores and stuff, and I would record live. And people, men and stuff would look too, but especially chicks, they'd be like, "Oh, he's got a microphone, he's got a crew around him. Like, what's he up to?" And I saw like my perception. Granted, I started going to the gym and stuff in Seattle, but I saw my perception go.
Lord, I'm gonna swap you out for Joe, but I'll bring you back.
Normal. Yeah. Okay. I saw my perception go from like a normal dude to like this. They thought of. Oh, okay. Yeah. To like this.
No. My bad. No, I was just talking about Lori. I don't mean to cut you off.
Almost. Oh yeah, you're good. So yeah, they definitely, the whole thing, I feel like women feel like their life has to be kind of like a novel on all aspects, whether it's relationships, the sex, like whatever it may be. And I learned that from mainly erotica, but also when I was doing my podcast, and like they kind of like want a story to go with almost everything. So the more like how do I want to put it, the more of a backstory that you bring with you, the more story a man has with him, they'll take that over almost anything tangible, like money and all that stuff. It's, don't get me wrong, especially when they hit the wall, that's the thing they need, but that story is first and foremost. And I learned that from erotica and podcasting. So yeah,
shout out to Marcus Love as well. That's actually a unique insight, man. I would definitely like to do a solo stream with you on that. I bet you that'd be a fire Bernard Riley show. Like straight up like that.
The killing part about it is I used to get like email requests and stuff from like my readers, and were some of the requests in them emails, bro, like oh well, I like the part where, and they love that capture aspect. Like it's a new Netflix show. It's called like 62 DNI, something like that. The whole show is about this rich dude. He takes a chick, he traps her in his basement. He said I'm not letting you escape until you love me or whatever. And like the whole show is just him going in the basement, doing whatever he wants, whatever. But like women and men too are kind of going crazy over it. But I look at it from the erotica world, like this has been going on for decades. This is nothing new. It's just that women have always thought that way. But yeah, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, so Lori, definitely come back, because what I may do is I may drop myself down so I can get our people. And I guess if I start to do more streams, I'm definitely gonna pay for it, because I'm gonna need to actually bring it up with that. But that's another insight too, because with all this feminism and Me Too bullshit, at the end of the day, the thing you can put more in books than you can put in like visual medium as far as going there. But that's at the end of the day, that's to the core of what the shit is. Because at the end of the day, number one, people are buying it. So if people are buying it, people want it. It's not about what they need, it's about what they want. Because people make emotional buying decisions. Most black people know about the Zane shit, whether they read it or they've heard of it. And at the end of the day, it's interesting how you have this dichotomy between sisters and this need to control, but at the end of the day, they need to be dominant. And that's one of I think the geniuses of power. That's the core of what it is. Because without that core of Ghost, it doesn't work. It just doesn't, because it wouldn't have the number to justify it needing to be there. Anyway, let's see. So Roger, what do you think about this need to be like a reality show asset to these females?
I mein, it's very true. I don't think, people can deny it, but you'll sound stupid. I think the reason that Power is so successful, you have a version of one of the ultimate compromised men. I've talked about compromised men. You know what I'm saying? He's compromised at a high level. Why? Because he's so heavy in the drug game. Okay, but he's the thug in a suit as well, because he can move and operate not only in this drugs, this underworld circle. He can move on top of the big guys. You know what I'm saying? Because he got to deal with what's going on with the city, how he's being viewed and perceived, and things like that amongst the people in general. So he's the ultimate compromised man. Yet he's a killer, and because he's a killer, women view that as, oh, he'll be able to protect me, and he'll kill everybody but me, which is it's a huge turn on to a lot of our sisters. And I know nobody really says that, but that's just what it is. If they find a man that they believe will kill everybody but them, they are very satisfied with that. A lot of them just get off on that type of deal. And
can I respond to that comment you just said?
Sure.
Go ahead. Let him finish, and I'll let you jump on.
Okay. Well, yeah, and then the fact that he's also disposable at the end of the day, because women like a situation where they can benefit off what men do, which we've all seen this in different areas in life. They can benefit off what men do, but sit in the cut and not really take the risk. They'll get in if they want something to go in a certain direction where the man that they're dealing with is not necessarily going in the direction they really want. They might aid something.
Because somebody sounds like Kermit the fucking frog or something.
Yeah. And they may aid a man here or there, but at the end of the day, the man's going to take 99% of the risk. And in her mind, she's going to be able to get at least 60-70% of the reward. Yeah, he's going to control some things because he's a man, but while he's off doing his thing, I'm at the house, I'm chilling, I'm controlling what's going on. And if this nigga get killed, I get his stuff anyway. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody knows I'm his girl, and they're going to respect me. So you also get that level of status that women want as well, because you can't touch a man like Ghost or somebody coming to see you. And you know that. So you can't touch Ghost women. You know what I'm saying? So she feels this ultimate level of protection. So at the end of the day, it's throwing in a bunch of different things of what women want. So Ghost is a jumbo of different men put all together in one character, so she can be completely satisfied when she's at home. And a woman's fantasy means a very huge deal to her. It's of great importance to her, because women they snap over their fantasies. You know, if you mess a woman's fantasies up, she has a huge problem with you. So at the end of the day, that's what Ghost said. He's a supreme fantasy for most sisters. Point blank, period. And it also goes along with what I've also told about how black women are so into white supremacy and their culture. It also goes back to the how white folks were portrayed as mobsters. Yeah, they'll kill you, but they're the ultimate family man, and they're the ultimate businessman. It also takes from that too. So everything sisters want, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to negative culture, seeing black men as disposable, being able to live off them, being able to send them out and do what they want to get done, plus being the family man that's gonna look out for them and protect them at all costs. I don't know what's missing for a black woman. And just real quick, when it comes to the 50 Cent thing, of course he's gonna get a negative reaction because no matter what he does, when it comes to women, it's about what have you done for me lately. And 50 just said something where he ain't doing nothing for them lately. He's trying to do something for somebody else in their mind, which is gonna get a bad reaction. And I'm gonna leave it there for now.
All right, Kobe, you can jump in.
Yeah, but what I want to say is the things that women look for a guy. Everyone knows the Hulk, right? You know how the Hulk is protective of Betty. That's what women want, like the Hulk Bruce Banner situation, like the Bruce Banner Hulk syndrome. You know, the Hulk is protective of Betty, won't harm her, but harm anyone else. That's what a lot of women want.
Kobe, I think you're wrong about that, bro.
How so?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like the from the shit I've been seeing, the shit I've been hearing on a constant basis, bro. I'm starting to see exactly why my generation doing what they doing, bro. Now y'all know Shahrazad Ali, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Now, this book I was reading about her said the woman default setting is to ruin shit. It's to destroy shit. Anything that's given to her, she gonna make it 100 times worse than what it is. And from everything I've seen, bro, every time I go on Instagram, every time I go on YouTube, all I hear is a bitch saying some negative shit about us black dudes, bro. It's getting to a point, like at first I used to feel bad, like damn, like maybe they got their feelings hurt and that's why they so messed up or whatever. But now it's just like I'm getting numb to it, bro. It's like this shit don't even bother me anymore. Like I'm cynical
about it.
It's been that way.
And this the thing, bro. Like I saw a video. This girl, she got in this police officer's face, right? He punched her in her shit. She was like, "What you gonna do? Don't walk up on me."
I've been sharing that video. It looked like it's a DMV type joint, and then the dude was real calm. I mean, it's like you think you black, and I'm like, let's see what this dude gonna do.
Now,
hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, Joe, but there's a movie you need to see called Lakeview Terrace. Every black man.
Oh yeah, with Samuel L. Jackson.
Because how she ate that hit. Like, that's the type of shit where you like, oh, shit. Because in that video, if you pop, because he smacked her, because he didn't really, not the video, but in the video, not the movie, he popped her because he didn't really want to close fist her. Because I'm not saying you should do that, but the way she just ate that, she was about to come back. Like, she didn't get the chance to, but she didn't even like, she had like she was about to, and then he was like, okay, now he got to tackle her. That's when the other dude you kind of hear get involved. Like, oh yeah, we got a live one at this point. But at the end of the day, I'm curious, like what the fuck? Because somebody tried to tell me, oh, that's fucked up. I'm like, so explain to me what the fuck he was supposed to do when she was in his face like that. I'm curious. Like,
see, this is the thing. This is the thing, Mr. Elwood. See, the society. I've been reading a whole bunch of books lately, and society want men to feel like if they do something is wrong, but when the bitch do it, it could be excused. For some reason, society hold men to a moral high ground, but it excused the women behavior because they feel like, oh, whatever a woman do, the man still in control. Now, when feminism came, that wasn't the thing no more. Now, this is the thing. So we see how my generation, okay, because my generation not race loyal at all. We don't give a damn about that. We do whatever makes us happy, whatever, right?
Exactly.
But I read that book Shahrazad Ali had, bro. It woke me up to so much stuff, bro. It said a bitch will talk to you more when they mad at you to ruin your day than to check up on you while you having a good day. And I was just sitting there reading the book, and I'm just like, damn, bro, like it just crazy.
And Joe, I'm not trying to tell you to shorten it up. I'm saying it for everybody in general because we do got 6 people. We do want to cycle through, so keep that in mind. But definitely finish your thought, Joe. And after that, definitely y'all keep that in mind. And Lori, definitely, if you want to pop back on, I'll definitely come back. Yeah, I'll let you finish, and then we'll go because I want to go because probably this is gonna be the last main segment because I want to hear what y'all thoughts are on Kelly Rowland, her losing the money and shit like that. So we're gonna cycle through this, and then that way we can jump on that.
Okay, I'm gonna finish up.
So you then Kobe, yeah.
But it's just like it's to a point now, or like even with the black community, I wouldn't even call it a community no more. This shit about to be over, man. Like man is getting real sick and tired of all the bullshit that they constantly putting out and saying on a daily basis. Like it's getting to a point where the shit has to come to an end. We keep talking about, oh, maybe they can change. Them motherfuckers ain't change. Them motherfuckers not gonna change until hell freeze over, and we know that's never gonna happen. Like let this shit go, man. If you a black dude today, if you find you a girl that who look like you know what I'm saying, who down for you, that's good. But if not, nigga, SYSBM, no question.
Well, shit, Joe, you were just on like a couple days ago talk about we too red pill. So what happened?
And that's Mr. Edward. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I went on Instagram today, and I had to unfollow like 200 people, bro. The hate I see about, because this is the thing. I'm gonna be honest, bro. The bitches are worse than white supremacists right now at this point in time. Don't
48-hour turnaround.
I'm gonna keep it brief.
I ain't playing. Like I told you, I'm saying that to be funny, but at the same time, like I told you when you was pushing back on us, I said just make sure you don't get no chick pregnant, and make sure you don't like I ain't even talk about the married, don't get pregnant, and make sure you don't fuck up your credit. Cause see, if you would have figured this out after you did that, then you'd be fucked or kind of fucked. But go ahead, man.
Now, I done told this story like twice. When I went to a Quick Trip, it was a black bride in there, and me and my girl, it was 2 white people in front of us. They went to the counter, the bride spoke to them, all this type of shit, polite as hell. We got up there, bad customer service instantly. Nigga, anytime. Look, I guarantee. Look, this how you know it's fucked up. I can ask any black dude how they went to a store and got bad customer service from a motherfucker that look like them. The answer is gonna be yes, 100%, 10 times out of 10. And I'm gonna finish it up. It's like, bro, we got to, as men, we got to stop, because we think bullshit and drama and all that type of shit is normal with a bitch, but it's not. Like I just told y'all, a bitch will talk to you more if she mad at you than when she not mad at you. That's mental illness, bro. Like if you a black dude, do what's best for you and stop dealing with that shit and find a motherfucker to make you happy. That's all I got to say. And SYSBM 100%, fuck the bullshit and race loyal. Them motherfuckers kill your kids, 100,000 kids a year, so fuck this shit.
Yeah, well, Joe, like I'm gonna tell any younger brother, y'all need to just make sure y'all keep your options open. It's not about saying SYSBM is not about saying no black women ever. It's about keeping your options open. And then if these bitches gonna be on what they on, you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, next.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick.
All right, hold on. Let the other dude jump in, and then I'll let you jump in, Kobe.
Okay.
No, I just wanted to ask Joe if he's read any of Rollo Tomasi's books.
I'm reading The Rational Male right now, bro. That book, opened my fucking eyes, bro.
Bro, I'm in the middle of that book, and now, granted, I've already read so much red pill stuff by this point. It didn't blow me away, but man, and he's strange.
I don't even. Look, I used to think like that shit. Look, I used to think that was extreme, but I'm sitting there reading the book. I'm just like, bro.
Yeah, man.
Everything this dude is saying is the fucking truth.
Joe?
Like,
that
21
changed everything.
How old are you, Kobe?
I'm 22.
Okay, so yeah, Kobe, you jump in here. I didn't even know. See, man, I don't pay attention to these white folks. Like I know who Rollo Tomasi is, but like I said, a lot of this shit, it wasn't. A lot of this stuff, I'm not gonna act like there was nothing I had to learn. I had to learn kind of what the gynocracy was under the this pro-black shit or black community shit. I had to learn how much black men buy into the gynocracy because I already know women were gonna do what's in their best interest to be unapologetic about it. I already saw that. So that's the shit. But for the most part, as far as like understanding women were gonna do that romance shit was bullshit. Yeah. And what so anyway, go ahead, Kobe, and then we're gonna move into the
But yeah, women want a guy like to act like Bruce Banner in the Hulk, but it's contradicting. Like they want a guy that hurt everybody else, but not them. Eventually, it will get to them because the guy gets sick and tired. Eventually,
Oh, I get what you're
that's what I'm
saying. I
saying.
mean, basically, he's saying the same thing that what you call it was saying as far as mother like Roger was saying is motherfucker wants somebody that can kill everybody in the room except them. Basically,
Yeah, the Hulk
they
does
want to
that, like Bruce
fucking
Banner Hulk,
they want the fucking
Mhm.
Punisher, the
or
nigga
And
version.
The Hulk and Bruce Banner, like
Who
the
the
Hulk and Bruce Banner.
who the nigga version of Punisher? But no, hold on. I will say this. Even though the Punisher is uncontrolled, he's still calculating and how he plans to do stuff, which is different than the Hulk. So you may be right. They want a nigga to just wild out and then blank out, but they want a dog. They want to basically a
yeah,
Yeah,
pit
they want
bull
an A-team and
rabies
a
that
pit
doesn't
bull
bite them.
dog. Yeah.
And
let me
most of
say
the shit
one
that
quick.
most of the shit when they're crying is when that fucking pit bull bit their ass. But go ahead, Seattle, and then we're gonna flip this conversation.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also
let me say
another
just
thing I want to say is another thing I want
Yeah,
to
we'll
say
go.
is
Yeah.
why don't they ever talk about compatibility in the like when it comes to dating? No one talks about compatibility and
I
hobbies
don't
and
care
interests.
about that.
Because you
They
don't
don't talk
matter.
about
You a
they don't
man.
yeah, because they don't talk about compatibility because if they bring up compatibility, then you're gonna it's gonna open the door to you realizing you're not compatible. When you talk about cultural compatibility, that means that like for instance, if you're in a different class, like that might you're technically in a different subculture even within the black community. So if men start looking at it that way and they start realizing it ain't that they ain't shit, it's just they're not culturally compatible. Then, like for instance, I don't have to be ain't shit for me not to be culturally compatible with a Muslim woman. It's the religion that really separates that. You know what I'm saying? So if dudes start thinking that way, they'll start realizing they're not the problem. So you'll never hear women. This is why you will never hear black women, even in the dating industry, talk about or black men. Shout out to Bernard and what you call it, Obsidian versus the dating industry. You'll never hear compatibility come out of their mouth
Yeah,
ever.
they never
Like
talk
Rebecca
about
Lynn Polk
that.
is like the only one I've ever really heard that. But anyway, that's actually a
Yeah,
good insight.
or how
So
kids
anyway,
have it.
Seattle, and then because I really want to get to this shit, so Seattle,
All
and
right.
then we'll
Yeah,
flip
there's
this
one
shit.
quick thing. One quick thing. Revisit. I want to revisit the erotica thing. Edward, if you get on Amazon right now, you go to the erotica section. Speaking of the Hulk, this has been going on for a while though, for like the last decade. Xeno porn and like Xeno erotica has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger in each year. It first blew up when it was a novel called Come For Me Bigfoot. Yes, you heard that right. That started with that. And then after that, I remember back when like Twilight came out, when vampires and werewolves were like these big things, women fantasize, all women fantasize about like a beast or the Hulk or getting drilled by an alien. Like it's a real thing. And that plays to that primal desire in them to be like dominated, to have like that super crazy buck wild, you know what I'm saying? Power just I just want
Oh yeah, I mean you got shit. You got subcultures for motherfuckers that want to fuck they step kids, or not step kid. Well, yeah, kind of their step kids, but also their step siblings, their cousins. There's a micro incest. Trust me, when you know how to search Google and you do stuff for marketing and research purposes, you find some crazy shit.
Yeah.
There's also a growing industry as far as the like American kind of pseudo hentai industry, where there's a lot of interracial comics where
yeah, black and white
like
comics.
a lot of white creators create pay their Patreons with different a lot of them can draw very well different comics with that stuff, and there is a market for that.
Edward, are you familiar with the term race play?
Well, yeah, that's the ghetto gagger shit. That's I know what you see that
You got it both ways though. You got it both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. That crops up with the pro-black shit too. The race play shit is generally going to operate more. Well, no, that's not true because dudes, technically, when you're doing the cuck and bullshit, that's race play. But you also people are going to associate more with black women and white men playing that slave shit, and that shit happens a lot more. So anyway, now we're going to flip to something. I want to get Super Trez. Appreciate you too, Linda. It's been a long time. On Facebook, all this shit. So I appreciate that. So anyway, we'll do this for another 30 minutes, but this is a conversation I really want to have. And actually, Linda, you came in at the right time. Okay. And by the way, look, I'm not the greatest moderator, so I appreciate y'all patient with me. I'll have more of a heavy-handed thing with this stuff. Plus, usually how I do it is I just don't have as many people on. This was something kind of impromptu. So anyway, I'll say this, and I wish Lori would come back and shit because I wanted to hear what they had to say about this. So Kelly Rowland did a video. If you listen to O'Shea or Jada Blacks, they did coverage, but it's also media about basically Kelly Rowland basically getting in front of a white pastor, which is her pastor, and talking about, you know, some of the financial issues she had to deal with in her career, and how the dude that she's married to now is was her manager, and then basically she was saying that didn't work out. You know, she didn't really, she threw him under the bus, but she threw him under the bus like what a kind of a feminine woman would do. You know, you know, if you really look at her on a black female scale, she really didn't throw him under the bus. At the end of the day, she is still married to him, you know. So it is, but she just said a matter of factly how it is. Some people can make the argument that personal business is personal business, but you know, she was basically saying this is what happens sometimes. Basically, you know, trying to talk about sometimes being your manager as well as your love interest doesn't work, which actually I agree with that. I agree that generally it doesn't. And it's interesting that they were just still able to have a marriage after that, which actually says a lot about Kelly, given that this dude is not like, and I'm not even throwing this dude under the bus, but I mean, she clearly makes more money, you know, so, and Kelly is not Fantasia, you know, Kelly probably could get a dude if she wanted. Now, that being said, I started looking at this dude a little bit, and because first thing that O'Shea said that I didn't know, I thought Kelly was taller than what she was. Kelly's only 5'8", and she looks taller than that. So I said, okay, because when you see these pictures that he was putting up, O'Shea was putting up, this dude looks like a lot shorter. And Kelly's not, you say, okay, maybe it's the shoes. She's not wearing like 4-inch stilettos or anything like that. She's wearing like maybe 2-inch boots, if that. So I'm like, and this dude is actually like 5'6", you know, you know, so I'm like 5'6", 5'7". So I'm like, damn, okay. So, because when you look at somebody like Kelly, and then you look at the dude isn't famous either, so it ain't like a JD situation, you know, like this is not like he's like a Will Packard or something like that. So it's kind of like, oh, so I'm interested in how they like came together, because Kelly's a very attractive woman, yeah, you know. So anyway, long story short, what I'm curious is to what's your thoughts on that situation. And I want to start with Super Triz, then I'll go with Roger. Like, have you seen the situation I'm talking about? What are your thoughts? How you think they came together? This nigga don't sound like he got too short game either, so it ain't like he got a mouthpiece to just woo the shit in her. So I'm curious. So let's knock that out too. So anyway, starting with Super Triz.
Well, you know, part of the problem is that, you know, being a manager, you're more in a subservient role to the artist. You know, a lot of times what you're doing as a manager,
which is another thing.
Yeah, you're cleaning up the mess of artists, right? They do something stupid, and you got to fix the situation, or they're just being a diva about something, and you do whatever it takes to accommodate that particular artist, so that way they perform at their highest potential. And so, you know, that subservient role, you know, just because you know, I think what got him close to her is because he was just in proximity to her. There was just so much time and opportunity for the woman to grow fond of him. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she always respected him. And so now she's in a position where, you know, she's married, you know, I don't know if I think they might have a child together, if I'm not mistaken.
They have one.
Yeah. And they're like, it's more of a situation where, you know, that dynamic will never lend to him being respected. And, you know, that's just something that he's going to have to deal with as long as he's married to her, unless he transcends his current status, which I highly doubt. He's not like some like renowned manager.
Oh, my bad. I need to add this element into it real quick. The other element is she managed his money. So she's basically saying a lot of the issues as far as her money when she was going through money issues, not necessarily on some Tony Braxton shit, but she definitely, she basically said he was the one managing the money, and those issues stopped once he stopped being the manager. Go ahead.
And see, the problem is that women will use this as an excuse to say, see, man, this is why, I got to have a certain type of man to submit to. I just can't submit to any type of man because this is what happens. Of course, and women will always use like the one, outlier example to actually make an excuse for why, they do or they don't do certain things. And so I think this can become a problem if this actual situation gets any more traction, because it just gives women more ammo. But what I think, to your point, Edward, is that he will never ever be able to redeem himself. Never. He will always take the back seat to Kelly Rowland. And if you're, some men, don't mind that. Some men, look at the situation. Well, I get to be with Kelly Rowland.
Safari for the most part didn't.
Yeah, and then you have a lot of guys, and then at the end of the day, like, men think that they can do certain things. Well, I think a lot of, believe it or not, men sometimes project onto women, as far as like how they respond to certain situations. Like if you're in a scenario, where a woman has been loyal to you, she's held you down for whatever trial and tribulation that you've been through. If there's a situation where, say, for instance, she lost her job or she's not able to produce, or even like a situation where I had this conversation before with some women. They were talking about, I forgot who it was, but some celebrity had gotten got injured really bad. It was a male celebrity, and he was like, he wasn't, he's crippled, whatever. Or no, I know what it was. It was this Facebook post about, this guy. I guess he was in the military. I'm not sure if he was in the military or what, but he got severely injured to where he was like basically a quadriplegic. And it was all these pictures of him and his wife was holding him down and like going with him to therapy, blah blah blah. Now, even though I don't see any of those pictures anymore circulating around, so I wonder if she's still with him. But at the end of the day, women were all getting all sentimental, and I was like, well, she's probably doing monkey double backflips, as Coach Greg Adams would like to say. She's probably doing monkey double backflips on that physical therapy that you see in every shot of them when he's going through his therapy. But that's a whole nother story. Then, everybody got up in arms and stuff like that. And, you would say something like that, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. But, at the end of the day, no matter how loyal he's been, when the woman no longer sees you as that man, all that loyalty that you've done, everything you've done for that woman goes out the window. You can't bank what you've done for that woman and then tap back into, what you've done in the past. And hope that has some credit with her, because it doesn't. Now, as a man, situation, reverse, right? Like if you had a situation where you was with a woman and she got into a car accident or something like that, and something dramatic happened to where now she was paralyzed and blah blah blah. Like, you're not gonna throw her out in the streets. You're not gonna just divorce her because she's not the woman you once married. Now, at the end of the day, as a man, you still gonna go out and do what you got to do. I mean, but that's even while she is performing her duties. That's my particular perspective. But at the end of the day, I just need men to understand that whatever you think that you've done that's merit worthy, that's gonna hold up, later on down the line, just go ahead and forget that. Like, we got to accept certain things as female nature, and so this is the reason why we have to control the environment and only give women certain latitude to do what we allow them to do. Period.
Absolutely. You got to control your own person. That starts with your personal environment, and it also starts with you networking with others for your collective environment. Not necessarily all black men, but at least the black men in your circle. And that stuff is definitely accessible that people don't think about. So anyway, Roger, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say the piggyback off what he said, that does go right back into that "what have you done for me lately" scenario. But when it come down to it, I mean, I didn't even know Kelly Rowland was married to this.
Real quick. I don't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off,
Go ahead.
but when you said "what have you done for me lately," wasn't there a song like many years ago that had that as the chorus? It was a female.
Yeah, I think that was Janet Jackson.
I mean, like we've been here. Listen, This stuff has been right before our eyes for many years. We just been ignoring it. But go ahead, my bad.
Yeah,
I mean, let's not even get started on No Scrubs. That was the 90s, but go ahead.
I mean, Janet Jackson is where I got it from. I mean, real talk, you know. But you know, yeah, you can interrupt anytime, Super Triz. I mess with you heavy. You just don't know it like that. But yeah, you good business. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I didn't really even know she was married, honestly. And I was looking at her last year because I decided to give an award out for the most gorgeous woman on the planet each year. And the first pick I did was last year, and it was Kelly Rowland, because she is a looker at the end of the day, you know. And it's I'm about to pick one for this year too, but
Aging well too.
at the end of the, yeah, she is, sure is. But at the end of the day, yeah, he's gonna play the background. When you're the manager, you only get a certain percentage of what the artist gets anyway. So to me it comes across as she basically running that relationship because she makes the most money. And at the end of the day, people can say a lot of beautiful things about women. People can say a lot of great things about women if they make more money than a man. What I've noticed when it comes to women that out earn their men, a lot of them like it because they feel it makes them the man of the relationship. But at the end of the day, once you get to about that 10-year mark, the fantasy wears off. Women want a man that they can relax, depend on, and let him be the boss and do the work and all that type of stuff. Even if she still want to truly control what goes on, she wants us to do it out of his pocket and not her own. So at the end of the day, what's the point of having a woman who can out earn you? You know, a lot of people will say, well, some men are intimidated by women. No, some men are just smart. Women that out earn men rarely respect those men. And even if you're an absolute bum and she's taking care of you for a while, you get to that 10-year mark and keep her. At the end of the day, they're going to replace you because that's just what they do. They're going to age. They're going to get older. They're going to want some form of companionship later on in life where they feel like they can be stable. And at the end of the day, whatever excitement she got out of you while you were not out earning her, that's cool. But see, now that I didn't hit this age of 30 or this age of 35 or this age of 40, whatever it is that where she turned, whichever age it was where she turned the corner, now is what have you done for me lately? So if you're not able to produce the way she wants you to, then you're useless at that point. So why even keep you around? And a lot of guys just haven't figured that out yet, you know. So dude was so in the shadows. I had no clue this woman was married. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me a lot
and
right
if
there.
you actually and I should pull a
Edward,
picture.
can I ask one question real quick? Just one quick question.
Yeah.
So he just homeboy just said.
Oh, by the way, I don't mean to cut folks off. Hold on. He's 46 too, by the way, and she's like 38. So go ahead. So keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So homeboy just said that women want to make more money than you so that they can control you, right? So my question to you guys is, then is it true, you know, when women say, oh, there aren't men we want a man that makes more than us, does that mean that's not true then? Or
no, look at the age.
Look at that. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Al. Go ahead. It's your show.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, you gotta understand that women are in this. It's like this light, dark Anakin Skywalker's, for the lack of a better term, syndrome, where you got feminism telling them what the fuck they should want. Then that's in complex competition with their own personal hypergamy. So on the one hand, and then also you got to think about these women have hidden agendas. So I don't know if that necessarily applies to Kelly, but from a typical standpoint, I had to do more investigation to how she got there. But from a typical standpoint, you have women that they have a deep-seated, they have been programmed, especially when it comes to black men, because I will tell you this, women today, white men don't think this way. They don't want white men that they can control. They want white men that make more money. It's all black women. But when it comes to black men, there's this need to want to compromise him. And folks know that if you cannot financially lead a woman, then you really don't have any. You don't really have control even if you can. But like you really don't have control if you can. And they want to put you in that little boy situation. This is why women say, get your education, get your money up, because you don't have to need or depend on a man. Now, what people don't understand is when a woman, that is actually, honestly, that is one of the most harmful things you can actually tell a young female, a girl. That's you are literally setting her up for a life of fucking misery when you do that. And I could kind of put it on the level of, you need to be a good man, and good men, always win, because it's kind of on that same level, but you're setting a female up for disaster that way. Because the truth is, does a woman need to be solely dependent on a man? No, but they're in an environment in this society where they're not going to be solely dependent on a man anyway, because women are more gainfully employed. That stuff is already happening. The thing you want to teach women is to be interdependent. You want to obviously be an adult, and you don't want to give the store to a man to the extent where you just left completely ass out. But you would never tell any woman to do that nowadays. You're never going to hear a man, even dudes that are more patriarchal minded, basically saying you should put yourself in a position where if this dude can do anything to you. No, because patriarchal minded men understanding that woman has a backup. If she has a dad, there's him. She has family, so she has that support system independent of the dude anyway. So it doesn't need to be brought up that way. But women try to do the extra shit. So a lot of that is them fucking double talking. So it is true that they want a man that makes more money, but you're dealing with children that are in the bodies of adults, basically. By the way, this is why a lot of older females like to date younger dudes. Fucking Keisha Cole. You see it with the fucking Jada situation. So even if they can't get you on the money, hell, even Carmelo Anthony and Lala Anthony, if they can't get you on the money, they're gonna then look for the age, because they think they're smarter than you, because they're like 5, 6, 7 years older than you. So it's still that little boy situation. It's just in this case, he's got the money. So they always try to look for that angle. And that goes against their own femininity, to be honest with you, because to be in competition with a man is a masculine position, but they don't understand that. But anyway, go ahead.
But which is the natural state though? The
natural state,
they want you to make more money.
A man to make more money, because a woman cannot really be in her femininity unless she is in a position of domination, which you understand based on your writings. But a woman can't be in her femininity unless she's at peace. You take a flower. Imagine putting a flower out there in a harsh environment, whether it's like the winter or it's like a city where it's growing in the middle of a street or some shit. It's gonna be rough around the edges. A woman has to be at peace. Well, not even peace. Fuck peace. A woman has to be in a state at which she can let go. A state at which she can basically she can be vulnerable. That's the key word here. If a woman cannot be vulnerable, a woman cannot be truly feminine. There's a book. If you want to look at books, go look at this book. It's David Shade. I think it's called Master for Lover. It actually says a lot of the same shit that like you see in Alan Ronson Curry, but it's different. The book is a very easy read. It's like a book. Anybody that's talking about wanting to understand women need to read this fucking book. Like seriously, and it's a very easy read. David Shade. He's a weird looking nigga, but
I don't know if you heard that that comment that Janelle Monáe had made on her Twitter. My cousin that sent me
but that bitch about hip hop. Or what else she said?
Are you gonna touch on that or what?
I mean, we can go through that. Because I got words for that. Like Janelle Monáe is the most prettiest. Janelle Monáe is the most beautiful woman I hate. But go ahead. Anyway, I cut out with Seattle. Let me let Seattle finish what he's saying, and we'll jump into that because it's just four of us.
Oh no, man! I just had a question. So you pretty much remedied that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So you read that book.
Let
me see. You read that book, David. Go. I'm telling you, and all y'all in the chat, that I gave y'all some great games, especially if y'all are young. David Shade, like he has products and shit, but his book is actually relatively cheap. The Secrets of Female Sexuality. Be a Masterful Lover. The way he writes the book is actually really, really interesting. He actually has it is a white dude. Y'all want, since we throwing out white shit, yeah, go get that shit. And even if you gotta get that shit, download that shit. Because if you search hard enough, you can probably find it for free. But go ahead and buy the fucking book. It's like $10. You can get it PDF, probably cheaper than that on Amazon. But the thing about it is, it's not gonna be 100% revolutionary because y'all are in this space. But I want to give y'all insight into what I had before I ever entered this space. So, y'all, wow, this is a red pill book because he talks about the story how he was an engineer. He did what he was supposed to do. He was married to a beautiful woman. And then he caught and this is a real story because I've actually met the dude. He caught dude cheating, woman cheating on him with a bad boy. And then basically he fucking found the bad boy, interviewed that motherfucker. And the bad boy was scared. What the fuck is it? White men be crazy. And a lot of the stuff he learned, and so he talks about his
he was
journey.
a brother?
No, he's white. He talked about his journey of like really transitioning into more a red pill state. But this is in the PUA age. So this is more him understanding female nature and using that as a way to be able to get women. And he took it all the way. Like he has a product about erotic hypnosis where he had to teach women. It goes deep. It goes deep. And I'm gonna tell you, Seattle, you personally, you'll have unique insight into like the credibility of some of the shit that you hear the deeper you go with them. Because with your writing background, you'll be able to really see what the fuck I'm saying. It's like on the up and up with him. But yeah, I asked him directly, that shit true. And that shit true. That is how he went about doing it. But he's like probably one of the star dudes that's not known. But his stuff is not really like I'm a dating coach down there. He just creates products. So he's probably pure nice guy. So a lot of this shit is 2000s, but he's still out there. I mean, he's a weird looking dude, but it's crazy. Like man, also another dude is a dude by the name of Mark Cunningham. Go look these motherfuckers up. The shit you'll see, you'll think it's fake.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I've been in the room with these people and I've seen the shit directly. Like I'm talking about with the erotic hypnosis shit. Y'all think that shit's fake. Like the nigga in you would tell you. Well, the nigga in you will tell you that's not real. Most of the audience, because I know how black men can be. But he's got a website called Master for Lover, and like I said, just check it out. I ain't tell y'all to buy shit. Just check it out. Anyway, so yeah, we about to switch topics. So y'all want to? So Roger, you lead. Was it Roger or was it Super Triz that said it?
Yeah. Let me. Because I don't.
Yeah, you set the table.
Heard this. So, but I want people to hear what she said, so that this
bitch really deserves her own stream. But we'll segue this and then end it on this. So go ahead, Super Triz.
Okay, so now this is Janelle Monáe's from Janelle Monáe's Twitter account, right? And so she says, y'all can't wait to call women every bitch, hoe, discuss violent acts against women, etc. for clout and rap, rock, and throughout music history. Misogyny has never been okay, yet it's become normalized. Women didn't create misogyny. Y'all did. So you do the work to abolish it. She continues, I really only ever want to hear women rapping. This is so hilarious. I really only ever want to hear women rapping. The amount of misogyny from most of men in rap and music is infuriating. We need to abolish that shit too. And lastly, she says, women, in parentheses, black women in particular, have been betrayed by the majority of men for far too long. The systems that enable patriarchy and abusers of power are burning. Either bring gasoline or burn with them. So just real quickly, I just want to just touch on these things really briefly, and then I'm gonna let you guys go into it. Just some like surface level observations. So firstly, she says, y'all can't wait to call you can't wait to call women every bitch, hoe, discuss violent acts against women, etc. for clout and rap. Now, first of all, women call themselves bitches and hoes. That's first. Second, most men in the rap aren't discussing violent acts against women. They're discussing violent acts against each other. Okay, and misogyny has never been okay, yet it's become normalized. Women didn't create misogyny, y'all did. Okay, so first of all, how can men create misogyny when women directly benefit from misogyny? This is the reason why it become fortified in our society, because women embrace it. They embrace the subtle differences between men and women. They embrace the dynamics between men and women, because that allows them to benefit off the hard work of men without doing anything besides. Okay, and then she also says, I really only ever want to hear women rapping. How many men really take female rappers seriously? No one wants to hear women rapping because, first of all, the women that have some type of lyrics, you quickly find out that their raps were penned by another man. And then the rest of the women, they rely only on sexuality to actually garner attention. Okay, so now then the last thing she says, women, black women in particular, have been betrayed by the majority of men for far too long. How can women be betrayed by the majority of men when women focus only on a minority of men? The majority of men, women actually ignore. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let y'all take it from here.
Roger, go, because I got a rant. So yeah.
Okay, well, touching on this nonsense. Okay, I did a show about this. Edward was on that show too, I believe. Women ignore the men in their own family. So when it comes to talking about this, most men want the best for their daughters, their sisters, their nieces. They want the best for their family and their friends. That's what most men want. Do they care about what most men want? Well, you can look at behavior and make a strong argument that they don't. Just that simple. Okay. When it comes to misogyny or whatever the case is.
Yeah, and Roger, take your time. I ain't trying to rush you. I'm just letting you know. So that's why I wanted you to go before me and in Seattle too.
No, okay, it's all good. It's all good. When it comes to misogyny and a lot of other things, when it comes to female reaction, because it's just a convenient word to use as an excuse for the narrative they're trying to paint at that moment. Women care about who did it more than what got done. And this is something men need to truly understand. If a woman is interested in that man, he can do the exact same act as a man that she's not interested in. And if she is highly attracted to that man, the act, as much as how negative it would be viewed from the man she did not like, it's a great thing from the man she does like. You know, I've even had an instance where, you know, there's a woman I know, you know, we talk on the phone, we don't know each other for years, decades, honestly. You know what I'm saying? And she told me about a man that she was dealing with, but she was going through one of those celibate stages, right? Now, the worst thing that a woman can happen to a woman, she lives through it, based on what most of them would say, I would believe it's rape. Okay. So a woman's telling me about her situation. You know what I'm saying? We have those type of talks where we talk intimate details with each other. The woman actually told me about a man that raped her. She had no realization that this man had raped her because this was the guy she was dealing with at the time, guy she was into. You know what I'm saying? She had the no sex rule for right now. You know what I'm saying? I think at that time she was saying, well, you know, I'm not having any more sex until I'm married or whatever the case is. Okay, so they mess around or whatever. They I know they showered together. They was at a hotel room and all this type of stuff, right? They end up sleeping in the bed. I'm assuming they were sleeping naked together based on how she described the story. You know, now the dude performs an intimate act on her while she's asleep. You see what I'm saying? But now keep in mind, they've already had discussions. It's already determined she ain't having sex till she get married. Okay, so she wakes up to this intimate act being done to her, and I'm pretty sure everybody know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's cool at the moment. She's enjoying that at the moment, and then once she's like fully up or whatever the case is, he go dive on in. Okay, so at first she's trying to, you know, kind of stop the dude from doing what he's doing, and then she just let him do it eventually, right? Now that's the man she into. I basically said, do you understand? You just told me this man raped you. She had no clue of it. But you take that man out, put any other man in that she don't like. If you take advantage of her while she sleep, that's rape.
Yeah, well, they even got a word. They even got a word for that. It's called creeping. That's the word that women use when I remember even when Corey Holcomb was talking about that shit and how fucking Darlene Ortiz, not a black woman, you know, so I'm gonna take that off the equation. She was laughing. It's funny. And the thing is, based on the rules that they set, now to be fair, Darlene is not necessarily operating on feminist rules, but again, you know, women like shit to mean everything. Anyway, finish your thought. I just wanted to add that in there.
No, well, I'm saying this particular woman, very feminine woman. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, one of the nicest, sweetest type of women. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when some BS got done, she didn't even pay attention to the BS being done because she was into the dude. And a lot of people make a big issue about what happened or what was going on or whatever the case is. That's not what's important to women. What's important to women is who's doing it. If you calling them out their name, do they like you enough for you to call her out her name? Because she don't care whether she's being called out her name or not. Just does she like you enough for it to be done? And if she like you enough, it's cool. So all this
Facts.
misogyny talk, all this,
Mhm.
you guys have done this to us, whatever the case is. First of all, and anything dealing with music, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, music is voluntary in America. You don't consume anything when it comes to the music industry unless you want to consume it. Ain't nobody telling you what you got to listen to in this country. So she can save me with all this. Y'all misogynists are putting out these bad messages. They only putting out the message that you're chasing down because there's always been different types of rap. All rap ain't hip hop. Okay,
Enter the Maggle.
Damn.
What you just described is the reason why Maggles exist, because you have women that will act as though if certain acts are so appalling, but only when it's being performed by a guy who they haven't validated. But when it's a guy that they validated or a guy who believes that he can fulfill that particular criteria, they know they have an ally. And so a lot of the Maggles that are in the space feel as though if they fit that criteria or they've already been pre-validated by these women. And so they will use that, and they will, you know, like in Edward Anderson, you mentioned this before, how like in certain streams when certain things come up, like a guy will use that as an opportunity to virtue signal. So Kevin Samuels, I noticed this on the stream Kevin Samuels had did when he had talked about, I guess I don't know exactly what the topic was, but basically it was about like women, you know, wanting certain things from guys and they're only average women. And he talked about how he mentioned height. And he was talking about how, you know, a lot of, you know, certain demographic of women, they may be, say for instance, 5'4", but they expect, you know, that, you know, they want a guy that's 5'7", 5. I mean, not 5.
Shit, 6'2",
6'2", 6'3", whatever the case may be. And so then the thing is that all of a sudden you look in the chat, all these guys talking about, well, you know, I'm 6'2", I don't got to worry about that, or I'm 6'5", I'm 6'7", I'm, you know, and every guy was throwing out how tall they were, how much they weighed, and it was like they were doing that basically because they want to signal to them and like, listen, I'm not these other guys that's complaining about that problem.
They were being beautiful men.
Now you start now. If you talk about money, all of a sudden these niggas gonna get mad. Now white supremacy is coming out, you know. And I even see people in I even made a video. I heard Alpha Trucker. He's been subscribed. Hopefully he's still subscribed. He made a comment and he made what I'm gonna start calling a beautiful man comment. He made a comment how, yeah, man, you know, I got my money right. You know, between, you know, us dudes, you know, got the height and got the money. We just don't want to spend it. Because he was making an argument against like dudes. Basically, I think I was talking about tricking at the time. And notice how I'm a proponent of leaving all options on the table. I'm not an proponent. I always say there's no one size fits all solution. So you don't never necessarily hear me. And also you never hear me really say the trick in America like that. If anything, I'm alluding to sex tourism, which is basically go on a vacation, get your rocks off, come back, get to work. That's really generally why I fall in line on that. And I'm not even saying do that all the time. You know, take you a vacation every 90 days. You know, get yourself in a financial position where you can take you a vacation every 90 days to reward yourself, maybe once every 4 months to reward yourself, and basically a vacation. And then that be part of it. Clear your head, get back to work. And in that way, when you do interact with females in the United States, this is actually my position. So if anybody wants me to describe it, then you don't have that same kind of thirst. You know, it's kind of like monk mode, but controlled monk mode. If you on that no fap shit and stuff like that, you can't just be like a priest and not doing shit, because that's gonna fuck your mind up, as the Catholic Church has shown. So that's what my position is. My position is not necessarily to have money ready and then be ready to drop it on a female, talking about, oh, I'll do this for this reaction. That's really not my position. If dudes are willing to do that, if that works for them, that works for them. But my position on that is really a sex tourism package kind of vacation thing. That's it. You know, now, let me let Seattle get in here, because like I said,
Yeah,
I got a
right.
rant coming.
Yeah, so I guess I've just got two major elements I wanted to say. The first is, and Edward, I know you don't care for relativize or the white manosphere, but you know it's some inquisitive
No,
stuff.
you can talk about it. I was
Yeah.
just doing. I was kind of saying that, so I'm not like telling you not to do it. That's why
Okay.
I put the book with David Shade out there.
Yeah. But
Let's not make it an infomercial though. 30 minutes, but go ahead, my bad.
yeah. But he said something that he said was that the reason he would never, I remember him saying the reason he would never, he was interviewed on some show or something, and they asked him would he ever vote for a woman, and he said no, because women always vote for the sisterhood first, or completely for that matter, over men.
It's
Whereas
actually a good
men,
point.
whereas men throughout history look at society as a whole, and he says that women are only able to look at it from the sisterhood perspective. I forgot who said what made me think that up, but someone said that, and I wanted to say that. And two, what Homeboy said about the rape thing, that young woman that was asleep. Again, let's go back to erotica. In all the novels, there's never been a broke dude, the nerd, a socially awkward guy that was able to quote unquote be the dom or be like that, the guy that brings her down to the dungeon or something. It always had to be some baller dude, some biker. They always have to look at you as greater than now. And if they do, you can pretty much do anything you want to them. And that shows in the erotica scene, and it also shows in real life. And those are my main points. So you can go ahead, Edward.
Yeah, and that erotica thing is actually, you know, it's interesting that you brought that up, because that erotica shit is actually a good gateway into me really jamming in some of the things that I would never probably bring up. I'm not gonna bring up this video, but things I would never bring up, because then, you know, women will lose their fucking minds. If I lead with that damn erotica shit, books, and I actually shout out to Marcus Love, because I got something for that. Marcus Love is actually somebody I could actually interview and bring up that shit, because he understands I mean, you understand industry too, but he writes books like you do. Like, he writes books. He actually has books. So as well, not to say you don't. I don't know. I'm just saying I know he does. And so he can speak on that industry and how the sales work, just like how Alan Roger Curry can speak on the dating industry, the dating market, the black love industry, the PUA industry, because like these are the things that he's in. This is the vocation he uses to make money. So you can't argue. Again, this comes back, and I say that to say this. This comes back to the rap. The music is driven by white boys and women. That's who drives it. That's who buys it. You know, so even amongst the men, anything on there, it's on there for the females. It ain't no dudes that are really on there where it's like the majority of like black men are holding these dudes up. Some of them, but not at the big level, you know, as far as the broad appeal level. So any of these dudes that are big, they're big because, like, take somebody like Kendrick Lamar, who doesn't do that. Kendrick Lamar is in that kind of Lupe Fiasco, like kind of where he's considered like the guy that's like a lot of white dudes will go to, because that's like real hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So he has kind of both ways. But when you look at a lot of the lower level dudes, Lil Flip, them dudes, like if they're talking shit in a certain type of way, that's because the women are sexually attracted to it. I gotta say, what I would tell Janelle, this is what I would tell Janelle Monáe personally. This is I ain't in my rant yet, but I'm leading up. I would say, you know, if I was talking to her face to face, I say, okay, with all due respect, explain to me why where R. Kelly got his money from. Why did R. Kelly last as long in the industry that he lasted? And then she would probably try to go on a rant, but I would tell her this straight up. Look, black women were R. Kelly's market. When R. Kelly got hit for that abuse scandal the first time, you did not hear R. Kelly on white stations or on the quote unquote white station that would play black music, because R. Kelly used to be played on that because he was a a mainstream artist, because obviously R. Kelly has the juice musically, and he had features and shit, you know, that would get played with rap stuff like that. That stuff stopped. So white folks boxed him out. But black women kept on fucking with R. Kelly to the extent that black women, I'm talking about a collectivity of them, to the point where a lot of black women will openly admit and be straight up about, you know, liking R. Kelly till this day, which, you know, that's their right, whatever, but they'll be, they won't even be silent about it. They pass R. Kelly's music to their daughters. They went out of their way to do this, not just on the radio, but in the music. So you could talk all that bullshit, and I'm gonna go on this rant in a second. You can talk all that bullshit, but at the end of the day, R. Kelly is all I need to shut you the fuck down. Because till this day, black women were bailing R. Kelly out. All this stuff that was out there. So why don't you square with that? But here's the thing about Janelle Monáe. This is what angers me about Janelle Monáe the most. It's not the comment. It's that a lot of black men helped her. A lot of black men helped her. Big Boy, shout out to the short dudes, that this is your fault. Just like I gotta blame T.I. for fucking Iggy Azalea and Usher for fucking, what's that white boy's name? Bieber. Big Boy, you did that. You wanted to help a sister out. No, helping sisters never goes unpunished.
Wait,
So now all black
what
men
did
gotta
Bieber
deal
do?
with this. Huh?
What did Bieber do? Sorry to cut you off.
Big Boy from Outkast, he's the one that found her. He's the one, just like how Akon kind of found Lady Gaga. He's the one that boosted her. Janelle Monáe. See, she likes to forget that when she wants to hate black men. None of these white boys gave a fuck about a fucking pretty bitch that thinks she's a man and wants to be transgender without actually doing the surgery. You know, on this emotional, I don't know what the fuck I am because of whatever my fucking issues are. Nobody gave a fuck about that. It took somebody with Outkast's clout, Big Boy, to open those doors for her to shine. It doesn't matter what the fucking talent you're in. There's a lot of people with talent that don't make it. So that talent, and there's a lot of people with no talent that do make it. Fucking Cardi B and fucking Megan Thee Stallion, perfect examples of that. So this idea. Hold on. This idea. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, but what did Big Boy do for her lately?
Big Boy is, yeah, I get what you say. Yeah, you're right. And this is why a lot of these dudes ain't doing shit for these. A lot of these chicks are like, okay, you want to play that what you did for me lately? Okay, now I'm not buying cars. I'm just leasing. Now we're doing pay as you go. Meaning, bitch, you're gonna do for me, then I do for you. And that's it. And to be honest with you, white men operate that way. That's why they get mad at the patriarchy in the first place. Because white men do the reverse. What have you given to the crown lately? Because I can replace your ass. They do it in corporate America. Why do you think black women are in corporate America as heavy as they are? Because black men they said, look, I can keep your ass home, Becky, and still maintain white supremacy and have her work in the plantation. So if you want to work in this plantation, so they have black women and white women compete. This is why white women will never give black women a true seat at the table, because they know white men will use black women as a way to control them. So, and see, this is something that black women don't understand. But going back to Janelle Monáe real quick, I want to establish that first. The LGBT community did not build her. Basically, they latched onto her once she got big. Just like how the Hispanic community did not build Cardi B, they latched onto her once she got big. It was black men that ultimately helped her break in, period. And that wasn't like, in big. So that's the first thing. What were you going to say, Seattle?
Oh, I just wanted you to elaborate on how black women and white women compete, because I didn't quite understand it.
Well, okay. And so if you look at a corporate America, it's like a lot like a plantation. White men will basically play black women against white men because black women can outwork white women for a variety of reasons. Testosterone work. They, obviously they ain't got a man, so they're married to their job, just like a lot of black women are married to the church. They will outwork. They can outpace white women on the law averages. White women know this, but at the end of the day, white women have white privilege, insured by their white man, which black women do not have that, which is why black women are always, has this resentment issue against black men and always want to hop the fence, whether metaphorically speaking, if not outright physically. white men do that on purpose. This is why, and this is why you see black women get more employment, because they're female and they're black. So it allows white men to kind of play that kind of against them to keep that white woman just enough in line. This Me Too shit was like the first time white women were able to really break that shit. And even then, a lot of rich white men use that as a way to retire white men that were getting paid a little bit too much. Because a lot of these dudes didn't lose all their money. They just got retired out. And a lot of them kept their pensions and their retirement packages. Like dudes like if you look at these newscasters and stuff, none of them lost their money. None of them lost their contracts. None of those contracts got voided. They just got retired out. And a lot of them got payouts. They got golden parachutes, just like these folks with these CEOs when they come out. See, they don't talk about that shit. But I've talked about that before. And this is why, white women will never let black women fully be at the table like that, because they see black women as a threat. They're a useful tool, but they're a threat. And that's all plantation politics. The black women too fucking stupid to understand that they're so focused on their hatred towards black men. But that's on them. This is why I always say that nobody's taking more from the black woman than the white woman, and nobody is up the ass of the white woman deeper than the black woman. Anyway, but that's some shit you won't hear them say. But going back to Janelle Monáe, to a bitch ass, at the end of the day, Janelle Monáe is in Hollywood in a bubble. So it allows her to say some crazy shit like this. But she truly has a deep-seated hatred of black men. And understand, black men didn't do shit to her to have. Black men has actually helped her. In fact, black men, there's features that they've done with her. So when she say this crazy shit, as black men, we just gotta start learning how to punish people. But anyway, I invite you all to look at that and how she came up. But anyway, at addressing the points that fucking Super Trish said. Point number one, this idea of men. I'm gonna say this, the men part. Notice how they love using the word men. They never like to say black or white. This is how you know these women buy into a white supremacist system, because they will take race out of it. They take the race out of men as if black, like America is not a racist country. They try to make it like all men are equal in the patriarchy. That is not true. And any woman that would say that would fucking laugh at you, even if they were racist. They know that's not true. They couldn't even get it out. But if you notice that black women love saying that shit. Oh, men, because they want to equal. They want to try to equalize black men with white men, knowing good and goddamn well that's not true. They don't ever want to admit they have. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing? Edward, at the end of the day, I don't see black women going at white men. They use that term men, like you said, to try to equalize, because at the end of the day, they're not really going after those white men.
Oh hell no, they're not going after white men.
They don't do it, and that's just not in their plan.
Hell, they don't even go after white. To be fair, they don't even go after white women either. They don't, because it's plantation politics. They don't go after white men because, number one, they know there's nothing they can do, and number two, they know white men are in a position to take a lot of shit away from them. They could flip black women, Hispanic women, like just like that, and black women will have nothing to do. The greatest fear that a lot of black women have. Hold on. The greatest fear. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Number three, they want to be with them.
Yeah. And the greatest fear that black women actually have is that they will be erased from the public lexicon. And understand that black women, when they speak, is always a reason they're allowed to talk. This is why they're always coming out with some pseudo pro-woman shit or some anti-black male shit, because that keeps the system in place. So when you really understand that shit, you really understand a lot of the pro-black shit is bullshit. Because even dudes like Jason Black, Sharit Nasheed, they're never gonna, they say it, they kind of say it, they say it more than most. So I'll give them that credit, but they'll never be willing to do what actually needs to be done to really put black people in an actual real competitive situation. Because that's some shit that that's some shit that black men are just not gonna be willing to do. Because they're just not. Because at the end of the day, if you look at most of these pro-black dudes, the majority of people that are in that circle is women. It just like the church. All these institutions, it's all congressionally legislated or checked and balanced by women. And at the end, even you starting to hear Umar starting to talk that shit. But anyway, going back to Janelle Monáe. Janelle, this idea of what did you say? The misogyny shit. Okay. if you understand that the black community is a gynocracy, you understand how bullshit that is. The only complaint black women have towards black men is sexual, meaning they try to control. They have a resentment that they can't control the male penis. That's it. For Janelle Monáe personally, she has penis envy. That's her issue. She's not really attracted to men like that, but she has penis envy, meaning she wants to be a man. And what she does is she scratches that itch by practicing black male hatred. Because the reality is, if she tried to go after, if them white boys thought she was talking about her, then she would have nothing. She would be nothing. Because here's the thing, she won't tell you. Even in the LGBT community, there is a patriarchy. So even amongst that organization, it's still them gay white boys running it. What's his name? Dave Chappelle alluded to that shit. The shit doesn't change. LGBT is not some fucking utopia, of like, oh, well, everybody's equal. And even black people will tell, even black gays will, like, they won't say it, but if you talk to them enough, and why are you talking to black gay people? Uber car talk. 11,000 rides. So shut the fuck up. And I brought some of this shit up because because I wanted to hear what the fuck they had to say. Because I don't have an opportunity to talk to gay dudes like that. And I'm gonna tell you, they always come back to the feminist shit. You give them about 15 minutes, they will come back to, oh, it's a different time, and it's not, it's a new day. I'm like, the fuck you talking about? So there was a time where black men were at the top. The fuck are you talking about? Heterosexual black men, and they don't even know what the fuck they say. But anyway, at the end of the day, Janelle Monáe hates black men and black women, and she'll make up this misogyny, patriarchy. She'll keep the shit vague because she really wants to talk about black men, but she's a part of the system and she validates the system. Janelle Monáe has no problem with patriarchy as long as it's white men. That's the truth, because she understands that the shit that she gets is from white men. So this bullshit, again, black women are plugged into the system. They just don't like their position in it. And that's why she's there, because she hates black men, which means she low-key hates black people. You cannot hate you cannot hate black men and not hate black people. You are just as bad, because the core defining belief of a white supremacist is not hatred towards the black woman, because they can't hate what they're not threatened by. Dr. Francis Quest Welsing taught us that. So therefore, this is why I always say that black women have the mindset of a white supremacist, because they hate the thing that can actually compete. I don't know what the fuck you do with that. And this is why in the pro-black communities, you never hear this talked about. Because once you actually understand this, I don't know where you go from there. I just don't. And they don't have an answer. That's why they avoid this shit like the plague. Anyway, let's start to give y'all opinions, and then we'll start to give final thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna say in a pro-black community, they do talk about it. It's the people that's actual feminists that won't talk about it, because there's a lot of black feminists that's trying to
Hold on. Time out. My bad, Roger. Marco Leonard says talking to gays is gay. Okay, so understand that this is fucking 2020. I already made the comment that I don't walk around talking to gay black people or gay people, but when I worked in corporate America, there were gay motherfuckers there. By the way, most of these black female, I mean, you say talking to gays is gay. Okay, what do you call a black female that's a stud? What do you call, like, what? You know how many black women are fucking rubbing on each other today? Oh, but that's an exception because they're women, right? Okay, so my thing is, I already said the context. I was in an Uber car. So what? So what the fuck I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to be in the Uber car. Oh my God, I can't pick you up in the Uber car because you're gay. And I'm not even talking about black dudes, I'm about white dudes. Combination. So what? That's what I'm supposed to do so I can catch a hate crime or some shit? I mean, come on, Marco. Stop saying stupid shit. That's like an emotional reaction. Nobody's coming out here going at it. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
Edward, can I piggyback off of that?
Shit, he wanted the link, so shit, come bring your ass up if you feel that strongly about it. Because and that's another thing too. I'm gonna say this. Hold on. Let me say this, Super Trey. That's another thing too. That's no different. Just to not beat him up. That's no different than dudes that say, oh, well, when you're engaging with women, you're talking to women. That's weak. Because and then you'd be like, do you understand how the fuck we got here? Black men are like the only group that don't want to engage with nothing. They being stoic is like a virtue. And everybody has a narrative about you, including those motherfuckers. Most of the motherfuckers is always writing some shit talking about, oh, black men or the white men or the black community, Aaron Fountain. These are usually some fucking moist ass homosexual motherfuckers. So if you don't engage with them on their bullshit and understand who the fuck you're talking to, because I promise you, Don Lemon and all them other motherfuckers, they're being given airtime to throw your ass under the bus and justify killing your ass. But no, he's gay, so I'm not gonna have a conversation with him because they're gay. All right, man. Anyway, go ahead, Super Triz.
Yeah, I just want to say just really quickly, especially being in the environment, that I work in, if you're in, what you find is that there's a big.
Well, can I say one thing, Super Triz, before you go, because you finna say something deep.
Okay.
And I was just, I see you finna say something deep, but I was just gonna say, because I hope this Marco dude was joking, but at the end of the day.
No, he said, no, hold on, Roger. The next thing he said is never give a woman your non-sexual attention when you're, so my thing is, if you're sitting here and women are throwing black male character under the bus, which is actually paving the way for black men to get killed. See, people don't ever connect this shit. They don't ever connect a Zimmerman to a Trayvon Martin shit, or the 12-year-old that got killed by the cop. They never paved this way to your women being your chief character witness, and them constantly doing this steady drumbeat of what black men did to them. Like, they make it seem like, hold on, do you realize that Birth of a Nation shit, like the original one, they justify black male hatred and the black male beast by basically creating this continuous decade-long monologue. And the reason why I want to point this out is not at all because I'm trying to beat up on Marco. Shout out, I appreciate you listening. But what I want you to understand is this is what the older generations of dudes thought. They thought like you. Not as a fuck the gay shit. I'm talking about even on the woman shit. They thought, oh, you need to be stoic. You need to deal with it. This is just what bitches do, and they make it like it's harmless. And that's one thing. Kevin Samuels is an image consultant, and your image is not necessarily who you are, but it is how people deal with you. Shout out to Jeffrey Combs. And I can tell you right now, black men completely basically let this shit go on to the point where, like, a lot of mass incarceration, a lot of shit. I mean, like, at what point are black men going to actually say, okay, we actually need to get in the fucking game? Nobody's saying you got to be out here arguing with bitches, but understand something. A lot of you niggas try to act like that stoic shit is really fear. Like, I promise, the shit that I'm saying online, I will say to a bitch's face. Like, we will have the conversation. And now I don't have a need to have the conversation, but if it comes up, I'm not gonna be on some hell yeah, because and then you see how they short circuit, because I don't necessarily dominate them. I probe their brain by asking questions. That's another thing about y'all that I'll say. Be good about asking questions. Don't necessarily, because if you go ahead, Roger.
No, I was gonna say I wasn't gonna even go that deep. I just wanted to say in front of Super Triz because he made. All
right, Marco's being stupid. Marco's saying he's gonna fly to where I am for a fight. Nigga, I got guns. I don't fight. So I know you playing, but I'm not. I'm in the South. So you can. So if you want to be stupid, but I know he's low key trolling. But niggas kill me with that shit. I mean, think about what type of nigga you gotta be to say you gonna get a plane ticket and book somebody flight. What? Because I'm saying, hell, nigga, I offer you telling me you gonna fly, you gonna make a flight, and I drop the chat and you can't even click on a link. I mean, I'm asking. I mean, to be fair, no, and I'm not trying to play him. But Platinum the other day, we was on Bernard Riley and Platinum. I said, oh, well, dudes need to learn how to stop looking at other women through the eyes of their mama. So you need to cut the umbilical cord. Nigga, like, oh, nigga, you gay? And then we basically we actually addressed why I said what I said, and there was other stuff that was said. And once you actually worked it out, I invite you to go listen to that. you understood, and he even apologized because he knew he had a visceral reaction to it. And this is a lot of the shit as to why the gynocracy is able to be said, because dudes lock themselves into these own boxes that y'all voluntarily do it as adults. Like, you can blame, people can blame motherfuckers all they want, but nobody's telling you to go out here and argue with females. But what folks are saying, but here's the thing, people will say that shit, and then when we start having a conversation about Trump, all of a sudden motherfuckers will act like the Democratic Party can do no wrong, and then Trump is racist, as if Joe Biden ain't. Because we don't have this conversation. And also, coming back to the shit Janelle Monáe said, or shit, fuck it, let's dial it back. Fuck Janelle Monáe. Let's go back to what Gayle King said and how Snoop Dogg spoke out, because he had a very big relationship with Kobe. How Kobe did a lot of shit for the WNBA that doesn't go unsaid. Kobe has his bona fides on helping females because he ain't got nothing but daughters. But the day he died was the day that shit happened. By the way, the day Dr. Francis Wellstein died is the day Mark Lamont Hill's bitch ass, moist ass dude, and the day Yvette Carnell, who we know is a lesbian, started throwing her under the fucking bus. You didn't see a whole bunch of black females come up to her defense. It had to be dudes to start to really say that shit. So my point, because I could die. So you fast forward to Gayle King with Kobe and shit, and you see how Snoop Dogg was treated like a little fucking boy. And dudes were mad, but at the end of the day, dudes didn't really do shit. So my point is, we try to use stoicism in these things to justify it, but at the same time, you'll put in the comment section, you'll catch a flight. So you'll catch a flight to try to address me, but when it comes to other folks, you wanna charge that off as non-sexual attention. Well, nigga, why are you paying me attention? Like, well, what is, you see what I'm saying? Like, how do you, like, are you serious? Like, come on, man. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm using this as an example because it goes back to that height shit. You know, like when you press certain buttons, you hear certain, like, dude, like, even when it comes to the gay shit, motherfucker, look, this shit is, hey, this is 2020. Like, dude, you living in Atlanta. Atlanta is like the gay, like, are you, like,
Yeah.
like, it ain't like the shit can be avoided. I mean, shit, look at Dwayne Wade and his fucking son. Look at fucking Will Smith and his kids. Fucking Magic Johnson. Like, this shit's everywhere, nigga. I didn't create this world. I didn't pay. And a big reason why a lot of this shit happened was because of the last generations, basically, just like hip hop. They thought the shit was just gonna burn the fuck out. So motherfuckers didn't address it when it needed to be addressed. But what were we doing? We were playing the stepdaddy game, cleaning up after these crack bitches. That's what we were doing. But go ahead, Roger.
No, all I was going. My bad for laughing, but all I was gonna say is
never talk with the rainbow. Never talk with the rainbow unless it's business. I mean, okay, so I mean, there's dudes that would. I would agree with that, but there's dudes that would say even you doing business with them is gay. They'd be like, so you telling me you can't find a heterosexual to do the same shit? I mean, there's people that would say that. My point is, again, I did 11,000 Uber rides, and in those rides, and most of those conversations were really with women, to be honest. But there was a few times where there was dudes in that car, and there was another black male, and basically the topic came up to politics, because I think back then it was earlier in Trump had already got elected, so shit was on there. So I didn't like this. It wasn't something where I said, "Oh, let me interview some gay motherfuckers or some shit." You know, that wasn't what happened. So I mean, and I said that up front. So for you to kind of have this, never talk with them, let's just business. What, you scared of these motherfuckers? Is that what you saying? But you scared they gonna do something to your ass? You scared they gonna be like Magic Johnson's son and him your ass up? Like, what the fuck? Like, nigga, like, get out your fucking head. Like, damn. Go ahead, man.
All I was gonna say was that if you ever get involved in the threesome, sometimes women like each other. I'm just saying.
No, well, it's obvious. It's obvious he ain't talking about women. And my thing about it is, you have to look at things like Seattle was just bringing up rational male. It's time to be a fucking rational male. But we know when we're dealing with
some men in our community, we're just simply afraid of women. And one way to and I ain't saying him personally, but it could fit him. But I'm just, is some men gonna say you don't really talk to women or you don't argue with women or whatever the case is, and some people are being gentlemanly about it, but some people are just simply afraid of it. We've been
Well,
trained to be afraid of the women
yeah,
of our community.
and I'm using this to build up on a bigger thing because it's a lot of dudes low key to think like this. Because you got to understand, it's not. This is a red pill space. So if you already know people outside the red pill space don't even know the context that we know when you hear all this stuff. So I already know what they're on. So if you say certain things, they're gonna have a visceral reaction. It's actually interesting. You say tricking, they're gonna have a visceral reaction. You say
Hey,
you say fucking
some
this shit,
men,
they're gonna have a visceral reaction because again, they're not thinking rational, and a lot of
yeah,
and your women play on that shit.
some
They
men
really
don't want to
do.
be handsome, Edward. Some men don't want to be handsome. They want to be beautiful men.
Well,
That's
you
what it
know
comes
what?
Well,
down to
again,
at
and
the end
see,
of the
But
day.
here's
and yeah, and then all it is, Marco then says you're not gonna convince me to talk to the rainbow. So what in this fucking conversation that I've been telling you to do anything? But I will tell you this: the black LGBT, first of all, Black Lives Matter is the black LGBT community brought to you by George Soros and white folks, right?
yeah.
So at the end of the day, they are a political opponent. And I will tell you that gay black women, which is what Janelle Monáe represents, and gay black men, they truly believe that for them to thrive, you have to die. That's what they believe. And I can tell you
Mhm.
and I can tell you that when I have had conversations with them on these topics, it comes out because folks always try to make it like, oh, it's black men. Black men are actually pretty here, and I'm gonna say this to kind of build common ground
Well,
with
let me say this
Marco.
real quick to
But
you,
hold
Edward,
on,
because
I want to get okay. Go ahead.
well, I'm just gonna say because it might just be a woman at the end of the day. I've actually discovered, once I started digging into the social media stuff, there are some women who make a lot of these type of comments, but they got male names. For some
Yeah,
reason,
that's
women have
true.
this belief
But I
if
will.
a
Yeah,
man
that's true.
says it's gonna be taken better or something, so they
Yeah,
don't want to jump on links and
I
things
don't
like
I
that.
don't think
Just be
I don't think that's what it is because he ain't coming here to troll. But I will
Here's
say this to build common ground. Most black men are indifferent, or to be honest with you, in their real life, they're pretty indifferent to when it comes to LGBT shit. They say I don't fuck with that shit, keep that shit away from me. But if motherfuckers are gonna be stupid enough to pass laws and shit, it is what it is. They're not out here being like, okay, like what white folks got to do. I'm gonna find a motherfucker running down the street like on some Arbery shit, and then we just gonna make up some shit and do some shit. Even if they had the capability of doing that, you don't see that. But but what you have to understand is the racists and the system likes to paint black men as homophobic, as misogynistic, which is what Janelle Monáe said, as mechanism to justify harming you. You're racist just like white people, so you don't deserve any protections. They always like to put us up with them. So you need to kind of be aware of that. That's number one. Number two is that common ground shit was the indifference, but nobody's telling you to talk to them. But I'm telling you, you do need to understand why the fuck they do what they do, because this is why a lot of Democrats folks are out here thinking like, oh, the Democratic Party is an alternative to the Republican Party. When you actually understand what the Democratic Party does to black men specifically, I'm technically in the Democratic Party as far as I vote in those primaries because I'm in the South. So, but I'm more of an independent voter. But my point is, they are your enemy. But so when it comes to Trump, and I don't know what Marco's position on Trump is. He may like Trump, but when it comes to Trump, all these niggas that they'll have the same similar feelings, but then they'll still justify voting for the Democratic Party. So it's like we gotta like really think about this shit. And I'm not saying you gotta talk to anybody. I'm telling you what my experience was. That's it. And then you get this kind of thing where it's like what I'm trying to tell you to do, and you just have this reaction, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? All right, like it's like what the fuck? Like gay, and it's like the brain just fucking shut down. At the end of the day, these motherfuckers, they care. If you don't believe it, look at the Dwayne Wade situation. There is a campaign to destroy you. So you playing that, well, we don't deal with them
yeah.
bullshit. That
Agreed.
don't mean they not gonna deal with you. Eventually, they're terraforming the entire environment. Do you know how many TV? I can't watch a black TV show without a motherfucker without some gay shit. In fact, they just killed the dude off from the shot because he refused to date a transsexual, like in the show. This fucking show is supposed to be based on, no, that's Snowfall, but The Chi. That's what they tried to put. You can't watch Black Lightning. Great show. Too much gay shit. You know, hell, even the fucking Watchmen, they put it in an episode. Like, so if you just, oh my God, I'm not gonna address anything. Well, the shit's just gonna keep on fucking marching. That's the thing. Like, hell, what about black men that have to wear a dress? Like, seriously.
Mhm.
I mean, this shit, like, just because you don't fuck with the shit, don't mean the shit ain't fucking with you one way or the other. It's just like the Las Vegas. People actually believe that if you don't gamble, they don't got a way to get their fucking money out of you. They actually believe if you don't gamble, they ain't got ways of getting you to gamble. Oh, well, here's this free cheap wine that comes complimentary at a buffet with the fucking goddamn slots right over there. Oh, we've got something for your kids. Not to mention the conferences, because that conference, that erotic emotions conference, I actually went to in Las Vegas in October, like years ago. I spent $1,000 on them CDs, and I fucking left my CDs in the damn. I was so, you gotta remember, I was like, yeah, I was so mad because this was before I had money like that. I was, yeah, I eat it. And I will say this: you want to know some funny shit? And then I'll let y'all talk because I know I've been kind of going on a tangent. There's a series they talks about like erotic hypnosis shit where he basically performs it on like different women. It's like 20 different women, and there's a one woman that she's black, brown, light skin. She was a cheerleader for the Chicago Bulls. She was a former cheerleader, very attractive sister. And this white dude, that's the one fucking woman that shit didn't work on. And one of the things that he talked about how hypnosis doesn't work on necessarily everybody, because at the end of the day, a lot of folks don't necessarily want to let go. And depending on how good you are, you can kind of get past that and you can kind of damn near rip that out of them. But it depends on how deep seated that shit is with the programming. Because he always talks about neurosis and neurotics. His name is Mark Cunningham. Go look him up. His shit will come up. And that was the one bitch on that whole series that shit didn't work on. And that was way before I was red. That was way before I came into this official red pill shit. That was like years before. And I saw that then. And if you actually watch the video, you could tell that she's like purposely resisting shit because she's resisting being vulnerable. That has nothing to do with him. And this is why a lot of black women have to be like so overwhelmingly dominated. It's like a woman saying, I like a 10-inch dick, but the reality is they got a wide vagina. But it ain't nothing wrong with them having a wide vagina. It's that you can't measure up. Like that's how they'll try to frame it. when you see what I'm saying, that's how it is with that vulnerability piece. This is why in the black community they always try to frame it like you're just not a good enough man. But by the way, don't try to deal with no other bitch. But at the same, because the issue is they need hypermasculinity. So anyway,
yeah, and it's funny you say that thing about the vulnerability thing. Ironically, I was in an Uber, and
appreciate it.
It was a black. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It was a black woman that was driving me, right? And she, when she found out that I was from Seattle, she was like, "Oh, so what's the social life like out there?" Basically, she was trying to get me to talk about dating as fast as she could. And I got to the dating piece. I was like, "Fine, I'll give in. I'll tell her." I just jumped to the point. And she was like, "Well, and you know what? The first question she asked me, Edward, when I told her about dating in Seattle, she was like, "Well, are black men like is black love a thing out there?" And I told her, I was like, excuse me, I was like, I'll be honest with you, I might have seen 2 black couples when I was out there. I was like, most of the black women are either white men or Asian men, and most of the black men are not with black women. And then right after that, Edward, she almost went immediately to like rant mode. Well, black men don't know how to trust.
I love that shit.
This is this. And here's the thing, but the reason I'm bringing this up is the key word she said when I did my rebuttal. I don't need to do that. I don't need to tell y'all what I said. I'm on here on this panel, so you can imagine what I said. But she was like, the key word she said was, "Well, black women, it's paying. Black women don't want to be vulnerable." That's what she said. She said that black women aren't used to being vulnerable. And it really, I'm connecting some thoughts here to that, to what you just said about the hypnosis thing, because you can't be hypnotized if you're not accepting of it, because
And it's a deep subconscious thing. It's a deep subconscious. Yeah, and I mean, it's like some of this. It's hard to describe some of the stuff I saw, because like really, it's almost like when he was doing, and because I'm a skeptical person. So even though I was there, like you have to be there to really see it, and
yeah,
it's almost as if he was like, I hate to say it this way, but like this, because this dude is one of the best ones at it, and he likes to work book on it, like ripping and like because it's not just some like stuff that you see on TV, but it was interesting. But what I will say, going back to the vulnerable piece, that if you look at it like the Force, and I know it's on some nerd shit, but y'all see Star Wars, it's like tapping into that, and you have to tap into that through vulnerability. A woman has to tap in her, like if you look at Kelly Rowland, because your relationship with that word really matters. Because if you actually look at how Kelly Rowland, like even her mannerisms and shit. And to be fair, another story with the Uber car is I picked up a dude that was a saxophone player, and I had to take him to one of the like lower grade I think it wasn't K Michelle, it was somebody that was playing there, and apparently they need a saxophone player, so they actually imported this person and caught a flight and all of that. And it turns out this dude, his Instagram handle is Biz Nick something. I'll link it so y'all think I ain't bullshitting. But we had a really good conversation. I knew where he wanted to go to. I forget the name of the place. It's not coming to me right now. But it's like one of these places where folks that need to get their child support paid. They could pack a whole bunch of people in for like $30-$40, and then do a couple of songs, and then they get some alcohol, feel like they got a good show. It's like one of those places. Like you see Juicy J in there, some shit like that. And basically, long story short, he was a producer that kind of moonlight as a saxophone player or whatever in order to get some money paid. So I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing like that they would just get somebody if they needed somebody for a particular set and how that worked. And then on his Instagram, he's got Kelly Rowland right there, like sitting there, doing, and he's right there doing the stuff. So I was like, damn, he's really a producer. And in fact, I'll go get the link so y'all can see that picture when I get a chance, because I've been clearing out my Instagram anyway. And so yeah, but my point is, even when you look at her, pay attention to Kelly Rowland's like mannerism. Like pay attention to Kelly Rowland and a Marilyn Negre's like mannerisms. And I say that because these are dark skinned women, so you understand it's not skin tone, it's software. And you'll see they have like very feminine mannerisms as far as how they move their head and stuff like that, where you can see they are in tune with their femininity. It's not something that they gotta reach to get. And the thing that what you were saying with that woman, this is some insight I would have told her, because I love conversations like that, especially when I'm having it when females are like 25, 24 or shit like that, because they think they know shit, and me being 33, I'm like, yeah, y'all really don't. But because I don't argue with these women. That's another thing. And also understand that I worked at a call center. So if I was doing this a lot of times, I was already in front of them fucking anyway. So it wasn't like I'm sitting here going out of my way to find these chicks. But long story short, when they say shit like that, I'm like, do you realize your femininity is for you? Like, it's not for, it's like dudes don't think of masculinity as, well, I need to be masculine for a woman. Yes, they benefit, but a masculinity is who they are as far as their quality of life. You all talk about femininity like it's something to be given to a man, and that's the only purpose of it. You all will live a much more harder life. Like it's like you saying, okay, well, I only need to make money to give it to a chick, or I only need to make money to give it to someone else. No, it's about the quality of life you can live. It's about emotional health and all that. So when you're in competition with that internally, that creates emotional friction, emotional struggle. That creates psychological issues, because number one, you all never really know what you all really need and really want, and so you will so. When women say shit like that, as far as justifying black women, like saying, oh, well, we don't know how to be vulnerable. Well, I've said this. I hate to say it. So two things either happen. Number one, was your dad in your life? And usually black women don't take offense to that, because they'll say if he wasn't, they think that's what they could lean on. And now, let's say they say that he wasn't. I'll say, you do realize your mama did that shit to you too, right? What do you mean? He didn't just leave. She denied you a father based on who the fuck she chose. Because if he really ain't shit, she chose to fuck him and have a
Mm-hmm.
kid with him. So, and I don't think you really understand that. Like, you all will blame black men as if we deny your femininity, but the reality is, no, we don't. Like even with Kelly, and that's another thing. Kelly, her father wasn't in her life like that, really, because her mama kept him away. And this is a dude that wanted to be in her life and wasn't an ancient dude. And Kelly found that out later on. So that's another thing too. She's been through some shit. So she ain't like in this self-sheltered shit where she is feminine. All black women always try to use the shit they've been through to justify them not being feminine. And I'm like, dudes are not allowed to do that when it comes to being masculine. But at the end of the day, if they're willing to at least say black women are not good at being vulnerable, and you ask them why that is, because that means they're at least willing to talk in good faith if they are willing to say that.
Yeah.
You really got to let them know femininity is not just something for you to do something for a man. Y'all confuse femininity and submission. That's your problem. You think it's something that its only purpose is to give it to a man. That's why y'all resist it. And that's one of the biggest lies that y'all been told. Femininity is like a way for you to move through the world in a lot easier way than y'all otherwise need to do it. But you know what? I'd rather be paid than be right. You can go ahead and be right and be pissed. Anyway,
yeah,
go ahead.
And the killing part about it is, Edward, though, is that right after she said that and I did my rebuttal, she went immediately to single motherhood right after. Well, we can't be vulnerable. We can't be feminine. And I told her about the Japanese woman and stuff I dated in Seattle. And she was like,
"Oh, I got something for that too."
She was like, well, how can black women be vulnerable if we have to take care of kids? We don't have a man supporting us. We don't have this. We don't have that. We have to be masculine, so we can't be vulnerable. And Edward, I tried to like say my piece. This woman was like, she was so emotional and venting so hard, almost like it's almost like she's been waiting years to say this.
Oh yeah, and I'm like,
she was just going and going and going. And I'm like, by the time that she was done talking, we were already at my next stop, and I was just like,
yeah. And I'll say this first of all, this is where Marcos comes in. Yeah, I ain't gonna hear a bitch vulnerable. Like this is shit that I'm talking about is within a 5, 6, 7 minute conversation. If I'm not fucking, I'm gone. But you said you was in a bus stop or something. I will say this too, because they got this shit in them. And here's the thing: when we're not open about these things, then you deny them the ability to say their piece, so you can then tell them how fucking stupid it is. I'm not talking about in an individual situation. I'm talking about like on TV and all of this. All this shit shows them what the fuck they want to see. So this shit doesn't not become real just because they're not showing it on TV.
Yeah.
I will also say this: single mother. I said this earlier in this channel. Single motherhood is a mental issue. You are a single mother before you ever have your first child. So this idea of, well, the single motherhood is just the outcome. It's like saying, look, Michael Jordan was a champion before, even when he was having issues getting past the Detroit, he was a champion. A lot of these dudes, like, you have a mindset of a champion, so because you have that, then the outcome is the result of the work put in, or the actions or series of actions put in. All these motherfuckers that like to talk about law of attraction and all of that infinite wisdom bullshit, they don't understand those basic tenets. So going back to single motherhood, I got you, Roger. The actions that you take that makes you a single mother. Think about it. Think about if you talk to women about sexual, birth control, or we talk about after the fact, or fuck it, we're talking about women that don't even have kids. What do they say? I got a perfect question I always ask. I got this from a woman, by the way. Do you choose the father for your children? The answer to that question tells me everything I need to know about you. Now, when I was on fucking MT shit, I asked Nancy that question. Nancy said yes. And then she tried to think about it, but she only took her 3 seconds to answer it. But you have to understand, take away how Nancy looks. Nancy wasn't cultured in the United States. Mm-hmm. She was cultured outside of it. So what I find is this is a culture tell, whether it's different races or different even women in the African descent. It's a culture tell. Now, when I asked Janae that shit, Janae said straight up, no, they don't. So I'm like, so you're seriously telling me that a woman who has the ability to abort and not abort does not choose the man that she allows to nut in her and have that. Now you have women that don't even, where abortion isn't even illegal, that says yes, and you don't understand how that creates a situation where you are having dudes that you see them. And if you think about that from a kid standpoint, that's the true issue with single motherhood. They don't take true accountability for where they put their pussy at. They really don't. And they always justify it. And I'm like, sexual attraction is not like alcohol. You can't be like the Beyonce song, talk about drunken in love, and think you're going to charge that shit to I was drunk because he was able to elicit an attraction in you that made you want to fuck. You are supposed to be an adult. You're not a wild fucking animal. And even if you want to fuck a dude, then fine, fuck him. But don't sit there and then have his baby and then act like that wasn't a fucking decision. Anyway, go ahead, Roger. My bad.
All right. Well,
I know I be
bad.
talking so much,
interrupted
niggas
Super
be
Trees.
forgetting.
I should have never interrupted Super Trees at first, but since I got the mic for a moment.
What's up, Mike V? Shout out to Mike V.
Yeah. I mean, you make good points there. They don't like to take accountability, and at the end of the day, I think just as men, we just got to accept who they are. And I think if we continue to actually put out the message of who they are, I think they will actually start to change. Because at this point, I feel like they just been running through society with no pushback. Because of social media, you're starting to have men push back where it's noticed. Because I'm not saying that men haven't pushed back, but it's not noticed because it hasn't been on mainstream media. You know, we haven't controlled the school system. We haven't controlled the movies and the TV shows and all that type of stuff. So social media is now where men are being noticed, pushing back. And as long as they notice some pushback, people are going to straighten up. Because I've already had women tell me that because of stuff that I've said or different groups that I've been involved in, they don't want to be single mothers anymore.
Yeah, I'm not dropping a link because this thing is going longer, but I did plan on ending it, y'all. Like NBA fan, I normally have you up, but that's why I didn't drop the link. As far as Marcos Leonard, since you want to throw out scripture, and I'm not even going to be funny about this, go check out Myron Golden. I've never seen a dude to be able to talk business out of the Bible better. You're welcome. Myron Golden is that dude, and he's a Christian. All y'all should check him out. He'll teach an atheist a master's degree in business just using the Bible. And he's more on Facebook, but even the YouTube stuff alone will give you an indication of who he is. But type in Myron Golden on Facebook. That's actually one of the dudes that when I put the links out of sales and stuff like that, that's actually one of the dudes that's in there. And wealth of information that is free, although there is paid stuff as well. But yeah, man. I mean, that's another thing. One of the dudes put in, what's the end game for the LGBT community? Yeah, ask them. Ask them ask and shit. If y'all got to ask a female.
Equality.
A female. No, bullshit. This is how you get it. Don't, because that's easy. You say, okay, paint to me a picture what the ideal situation is in America. And if they say equality, okay, that can mean a lot of shit because women, because women want equality, but they don't necessarily want equal. They don't really want equality. They want equal what they call privilege. So that's not the same thing. And as far as we want equality. Well, equality for what? Because LGBT, all of those are separate subgroups. So So what are we talking about?
That's the magic question. Equality for what? That's the magic question.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. Because my thing is when I was on this, if you're gonna give them anything, give them civil union. I did not want them to get married because I knew they would do what the fuck they doing now. Because they use that as an in the culture. Give them all the civil liberties, but marriage needs to be reserved for a man and a woman. And now, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say this, and it's not fucked up. I'm so happy. I am so happy what I'm about to say. Them motherfuckers passing that shit, and you look at how the nosedive that fucking white folks in general have had as far as the birth rate. That's what y'all get for trying to be like Europe. That's what the fuck y'all get doing that shit. Because like I said, y'all should have kept it man and woman, and y'all should have, anything, let them get civil unions. And I'm not even saying that you shouldn't necessarily gave them that easy. But y'all wanted to fuck it up, and now y'all taking that nosedive, and y'all not gonna get these Africans to stop fucking, so y'all can
Wait,
try to keep the population where it needs to be.
who's y'all?
That's what y'all get.
Well, you know, you bring up some interesting points, Edward, and I want to touch on. You referenced, I guess he's a YouTuber that likes to use the Bible.
No. Yeah, Myron Golden he's an internet marketer more than he's
okay.
actually not a YouTuber, but he has
Okay.
more of a thing on Facebook. I said that to Marcos to give him some honest. Just a good dude. That wasn't me being funny. Myron Golden, that dude, he pretty much talks his business. But yeah, what were you saying?
Well, I mean, you know, it's really to highlight. Well, okay, so a lot of times people within this particular sector, or maybe you know, some of the
their in game is AIDS.
Some of the sectors in proximity that may not necessarily use the Black Manosphere moniker. They oftentimes question the source, even though the information itself has proven to be valid. And I say that because, in reference particularly to the Bible, if you view the Bible as just a book, if you take out the religious component and you just look at it as a collection of stories, someone who's not religious can see the value and relevance of a Bible even today. Because when we look at the date at which the Bible, those books in the Bible were actually written, then we have to ask ourselves, why is it that this book written so many years ago has value even today? Like, we can look at some of the stories, you know, Adam and Eve within the quote unquote Garden of Eden, Samson and Delilah, you know, just various things in the Bible that point to female nature. This is not something that's new. So what we have to understand is that there has to be specific boundaries outlined by men. You can't leave that up to women, because they will not even have boundaries. So they have to operate within certain parameters for us as a society at large to get the outcomes that we want. But when we
my God, man, when I hear motherfuckers talk that worldly bullshit, oh God,
yeah, like when we give certain latitudes, you know, this is, we find ourselves in a situation that we're in, and so and that goes to a bigger point, you know that I go to other sectors of YouTube, and you know I look
as
at,
do we all.
Yeah, you know, and you know, not and from business standpoint, just everything, right? And oftentimes, like when reference to male and female dynamics, you can look to other sectors, particularly the dominant demographic, because a lot of times we can use that as a kind of indicator of our own trajectory. And we should be using that so that way we avoid some of the pitfalls that we see them going into. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that it's funny that I see all the complaining, some of the same complaints that we have in our sector, we see in those other sectors. And it's like, well, wait a minute. How can your particular group complain when your group is the problem? The dominant demographic are the ones who have allowed policy to have a runaway effect. They're the ones that have empowered. They had the authority. They had the power over the judicial system. They had the power over legislature, and they allowed these policies to be enacted that put us in the situation that we're in now. So for them to complain after the fact is really laughable, because I 100% blame them. And you know, when I say them, you know what group I'm talking about.
And that's where me and Zero will like run into issues, because like Zero, you know, he's MGTOW, he talked about that. And this is where me and him have kind of disagreed, because he'll try to defend that shit and try to say, well, this is all men, and you know, it's also a little bit that, you know, black men black men are not a big enough population to really significantly affect things. The only thing we can do is kind of cause a little bit of chaos by us not supporting the shit as is. And so if dudes don't vote, because understand something about the Trump shit, most black men, what they're gonna not vote. They're not gonna necessarily vote for Trump. They're just gonna not vote. And that doesn't take that much for that to actually have an effect, because for some reason Democrats have been thinking they're going to maintain Obama level numbers to get elected. I could go into that. I'm not, but going back to what you said with the Dominant
real quick,
Society,
Edward, when you get done, I want to address NBA fan in the chat when you get done.
Yeah, they're going to charge that. They're going to charge that to class. They're going to say they like when you think about how white folks are actually very hierarchical. And like a lot of how they structure themselves is a lot of on that damn surf, fucking medieval shit, lord shit. Even in here, they just do it based on economics and class. And so what happens is you've got like a lot of take somebody like Trump. Trump is technically just as much of an aristocrat as he is a racist. He's just as much a classist as he is a racist. He's just as likely to think very little of poor white trash than he is to thinking little of black people. If you're a black person and you got money and you're not saying nothing against any of his views, then he's not gonna have an issue with you necessarily. And the thing about it is they will follow folks like that blindly. They will. And people can say what they want to say about black people and Obama, but you don't really see that amongst black people in the general congressional black caucus. Because it's in our, but with white folks, a black person could do something, they have an issue with it. White person do the same shit. They say nothing, even if it's against their best interest. And that's their weakness. And you're starting to see that in how shit is panning out. It doesn't get talked about like that, at least from the angle that it should. So what they'll say is they'll just say, oh, they always like to lean towards these are the elitists, these are the higher ups, they're the Jews. That's what they never want to really take accountability as how they plugged into it. Like a lot of the lower classes of whites, they plugged into a lot of things that ended up fucking them over in the long run. And you're right. This is why when it comes to
plugged in part.
Well, yeah, I'll jump in. Is good when it comes to that MGTOW shit. A lot of times, first of all, let's keep this real. The difference between a lot of white men really want to date black women like that. They would never have issues with women because so their kind of view, their angle in the society is not the same. So when they bring up these complaints, understand they're bringing it up from a feminism, kind of taking away. It's like McDonald's because of all these different companies coming up, like Five Guys and Smash Burger and whatever, they're taking market share away from McDonald's, but they have a majority market share. Black men, it's almost like you've been like phased. It's like you're vegan and you've been phased out of the market by force, not necessarily because people won't necessarily consume your product, and then you have to kind of angle your way in to get around that. That's the difference. But see, and the fact that they don't even want to acknowledge the difference is bad too. Not because you need to give a fuck about anything black men are doing, but because at the end of the day, when you all allowed white supremacy to basically use feminism as a control mechanism, what you did was you basically opened the door for that shit to attack you. So a lot of the feminism that white men have to deal with was basically paid for by white men going along with that, not really understanding that shit was going to be used on them. And this is why it caught their ass with their pants down so bad, because they never believed that the elite would do this to them. Anyway, go ahead. Super Triz wants to address something, and then Seattle, and then we're gonna do final thoughts.
And and by the way, shout out Seattle Sideshow, excuse me. Yeah, I'm out here by the South Center Mall. We may have to link up.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean, this nigga coming out with all the scriptures. So like, damn, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't know the Bible like that. You know, I've obviously read the Bible in its entirety, actually, but I don't go around quote scripture.
Yeah, that shit. That was a long time when I did that shit.
Yeah, I don't even go to church. But the thing about it is that you know, NBA fan, we have to put things in context. A lot of what we see in the Bible may seem like common sense, but when we look at the conversations that consistently occur within YouTube spaces, a lot of the conversations are centered around things that we expect to be common sense. Like a lot of guys are in situations with women, it's like, well, maybe you should know better, but obviously common sense isn't quite common. But at any rate, the point I'm trying to make is that the idea behind what I said was that female nature predates us. What we see now is nothing new. But what other cultures, archaic cultures, understood was that they have to control certain aspects of the environment, even though it may be uncomfortable for them. You know, so there's some things that we see from other groups that we deem to be archaic, and we wonder why these societies exist or continue to exist in their rudimentary forms. Why haven't they progressed? Why haven't they got up to speed with the society as we know it? But there's a specific reason why, because they understand what's at stake. Yeah, they can join the westernized civilization revolution, but that will be at the cost of their culture. That will be at the cost of the dynamic they enjoy between men and women. There's nothing in this world that's free, and I think the Bible a lot of times illustrates that. And again, you don't have to be religious to read the Bible. You don't have to believe anything as far as you could say. Approach the Bible as all those stories being fiction. That's fine, but understand the underlying morals in those stories, and understand, put it in the context. Like this is from 1,000, 2,000 years ago. So if they realized that 2,000 years ago, and we have societies that since then have tried to do things a different way, they've tried to reinvent the way they say, okay, well, maybe we should try, giving women this privilege, giving women that privilege, giving women this latitude, giving women this latitude. Maybe we should try raising boys up like this. Maybe we should try, allowing women to do, to be themselves. No. There's no such thing as a free society, or at least a free society won't last very long. You have to have guidelines, period. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Absolutely. And that's why I like Myron Golden, because Myron Golden, even if you don't believe the Bible, he can pull that, because it's not, you'd have to hear him. But he's basically, what he is a dude that's a Christian, but he's an agnostic. So he can pull stuff out of a lot of stuff and kind of recontextualize it in things, in different things very quickly. Shout out to Blue Will Media for the super chat. Shout out to Mr. Mister for the super chat. He says, do black women choose their father quote of the week? Yeah, absolutely. And I think I got that from the woman. But that's a question you should always ask, because it's one of those questions that, like, really the human mind has to interact with it a certain type of way. And they've never been asked the question. So it's like a tell. It's like the tell of tells. And it really takes them out of their conscious mind and puts them in their subconscious, and you know who you're working with. I would honestly say that if a woman says that she doesn't, if you're thinking about marrying a woman and you ask her that, number one, they never answer it quick unless they're going to answer it the white way, because they're trying to figure out what should they say. And it's one of those questions where you can't really figure out what to say. You see what I'm saying? So, and even if they take too long to think about it, it kind of tells you what they're doing. So it's one of those questions that, like, it proves everything that I'm talking about. But anyway, let y'all get y'all final thoughts, and then I know Seattle, you're on mute. You wanted to kind of comment on what I'm saying as far as plugging in, and then we'll end this thing. This is 3 hours. You might have to unmute, Seattle. Hello?
Seattle Sideshow, it's on you.
I'll cut this shit off. You're on mute.
He busy swiping on Tinder.
No, yeah.
About to go.
What?
Roger report. Roger
I
report.
think he's asleep.
Seattle Slideshow is busy swiping on Tinder. What's up?
Okay, well, yeah. Since he busy, I just go ahead and.
Oh, I
get
thought it
mine
was
out
you
the
that
way.
was sleeping.
No, not at all, man. I was about to do a show till I seen your show was on, but I said let me jump over here instead. That's all that was. But I'm gonna hold that off, probably to tomorrow or whatever. But I got a nice one coming up. That my office hours are from 9 to 5. If y'all know where that come from, Mr. Big Red. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just we at a point now that that I think black men simply need to
Yeah, I'm
address
back.
what's truly going on. Black men simply need to truly just address what's going on. We see the behavior that they do. I just simply say black women, they just aren't good people. And I think as long as we just actually
So, nigga, you contractually obligated to say that per appearance. Is that what it is?
Nah, it ain't that. It's just my thing is it's just such a simple
Be like,
thing to
Roger,
sum
you
up.
will not get paid unless you say. I don't care what you do. If you don't say this, you will not be paid, sir. Go
Nah,
ahead.
honestly, to me, it's an act of love. Nobody tells them that they're not good people, and they behave in all kinds of crazy ways. And if we look at the things that we talk about as men, a lot of it is just simply connected to their negative behavior. And they from a general standpoint, they don't have many problems in America that they're not actually helping to create. You know what I'm saying? Because the white folks ain't really finna put it, you know what I'm saying? They ain't really finna put the clamps on them because yes, they are used to keep white women in check. You know what I'm saying? Black women would love to replace white women, but at the end of the day, you can't keep white supremacy nor white privilege going with black women. It just don't work biologically. So it's never gonna
Which is
actually
how
happen.
you know it's a mental illness, because they can't really square with that. They know that to be true. And even amongst the colorism debate, what do you hear? You hear that conflict, and they want to deal with white men, but at the end of the day, you're creating the very situation you're competing against. And then on top of that, you're claiming them to be black. So then you want to get mad at dudes and then try to come with colorism. So they're operating from an insane position off jump. But go ahead.
Yeah. And the thing is, men just need to be okay with telling women what it is and allowing them to start competing. If they want black men, they should have to compete for black men. And the problem right now is they're just simply entitled. They are just entitled to a point where, they think any black man basically should be interested in them. And if they don't have interest in them, it must be something wrong with you. And my thing is, if you can't even expect women to be decent people, why are you tripping? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, if I gotta go through extra measures just to try to meet a woman that's a decent person, that says a lot about what we've gotten to as a race of people. And we just need to cut it out at the end of the day. Hold women accountable, require them to be nice, require them to be good people, require them to be decent, not even the ones that you're trying to have sex with. Just if they're gonna be in your presence, require them to be decent people. And if they won't be decent people, get them out of your presence. Point blank, period. My thing is, I'm not with the we gotta hate the women or just walk away from them and all that type of stuff. But my thing is, walk away from any individual that's not acting the correct way towards you. As a man, you gotta respect yourself. And if you respect yourself, you got to require other people to respect you. If you ain't gonna do that, you need to move around. Real talk. And I just leave it alone right there. I'm basically turning it over to you, Super Trez, or Seattle Slideshow.
Oh, okay. Y'all can hear me, right?
We can now.
Okay. Yeah, I had to check some DMs for a minute. But
I
no,
told you he was swiping on Tinder and Bumble. That's what he was doing. He was busy doing that.
hey,
He after your black queens.
not about that one. But here's the thing, man. I like what you just said about the whole if they want to compete if they want black men, they got to compete. Here's the thing. I think if you look historically, you got to think the dating space is a marketplace like any other marketplace. If you want, before prices, like let's say, like he just said, going through the moon just to meet a decent woman, right? If you want the price to come down, competition has to rise, right? So I think, especially in the Black community, we say, well, y'all, we just got to get it together. We just got to see eye to eye. That's not going to happen. I just think that just like a marketplace, the prices have to drop before they look at things on a more rational level. And to be real, I think that's just Black men voting with their feet, Black men voting with their options. So, I mean, I don't think it's a big, profound discussion that needs to be had. Like I've heard so many times, well, if we get counseling, spirituality, that ain't happening. I think the marketplace just has to even out, period, point blank. And Black men are hastening that by pursuing other options. That's all I've got, to be real.
All right, man. Well, we're going to end this the way we always end it. Just remember, the Black woman is God. No.
Amen. Amen.
I'm waiting for Janelle Monáe to just say that shit. That's how you know her transformation is complete. That's
transformation complete.
That Dark City is down your train.
It's like Pokemon or ever she's evolved.
Oh
yeah, they wait for April Mason to be on that
real
shit.
Quick before you close it out, Edward, just make sure that everybody that's watching right now, make sure you guys are if you're on Instagram, make sure you send a request to Black Manosphere on Instagram. All one word, Black Manosphere. And so that's like kind of like, again, that's a repository for all the content creators within this space, good and bad. So remember, there may be some content creators that you don't particularly care for, but I'm just trying to give them
10 reasons why you need a Black queen.
And if there's
that's a good Derek Jackson. Yeah, but absolutely get on that Black Manosphere. I've been lazy about it, but I'm gonna start putting some templates together for it so it can be kind of done in a certain way that's fun. The Manosphere needs to spread. We need to get on, not just be controlled by YouTube, Instagram. I know a lot of you niggas like to watch these hoes. There's actually a lot of comedians, haircut. There's a lot of niches in Instagram. Also, there's a lot of videos that can be done with Instagram on that platform. Also Twitter as well. So yeah, we just got to get on that stuff. So yeah, make sure you do that. I'll make sure I link it in the description, or actually put the link into in the community tab for you all to start doing that. I know I've been lazy about that Super Triz, but I will start posting on that.
Well, the thing about it is that I think it's kind of good the way it's been going, because there may get to a point in time where Instagram may start getting stringent, like YouTube, and start banning accounts and stuff like that when you have too controversial information. So at least now we just have the basic content creators without their actual content. So that way there could be no community guidelines being violated.
Absolutely. And there's a strategy. There's a strategy behind that. Like, one thing, because here's the thing. Yeah, like, video is there, but I have seen when they dabble in this, understand something, that if you're doing live streams, it's not held on there in the same way as it's held on YouTube. So you can do a live stream, and if it's controversial, then that live stream is gone. Versus if you're going to do just the basic posts like pictures and stuff, there's motivational posts you can do. There's memes that you do. It's different strategies depending on the content creator and what you're trying to do. Wouldn't even register necessarily controversial, or you could try to lean on it being like comedy. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but there's a strategy. It's not just throwing up videos saying crazy shit. Like, what if you're gonna do content? Probably some of the content I put up is some of the more action-packed, like, clips. So you can kind of, like, if you're doing a radio clip, and then when you hear crazy shit, and then it's cut multiple times just to get people to want to listen to see what happened. That's kind of the things that you could do. Like Obsidian's nigga commercials are really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, Marco, you talk about weak men just want any, what did Marco say? Okay, once he's finally done with the subscription, he said bickering and debating with Jezebel and Delilah you are just creating issues for yourself. I mean, you know, are we creating more issues than black men not saying shit? And then, you know, for decades, because I see a lot of issues there too. And Christianity is run by women now, at least the black church. So there's that. And the
Especially
truth
in the
is,
South.
weak men just want any and all opportunity to talk. Well, you don't need to have another person to talk. That's one of the beauties of YouTube. Most of the shit I do, I'm on my own. So I mean, if I want to talk, I'm just gonna talk. So I mean, whatever. And as far as NBA fan, no, it's not private. Like I said, it's just I was about to end it for like we've been trying to end it for an hour, but that's
Oh
my
no, no,
fault.
no.
So,
He's talking about the Black Manosphere. I set it to private when you know, at the onset of that whole Aaron Fountain ordeal, and I did that in an attempt to kind of protect some of the content creators, so that way they wouldn't be attacked by him.
yeah,
So
but
that's the reason
in
why the Black Manosphere page is set to private, but just send me a request so that way I can kind of look at who it is that's requesting it, and then I'll go ahead and approve you. And so basically, what it is that it's just a repository for YouTube for content creators, not just on YouTube, because there's some content creators that operate on different platforms. And so if you are a content creator and you want to have some exposure for your particular your platform, add me and then shoot me a DM with your information, so that way I can post whatever your platform is as well. And then for those that are not content creators, you can go there, you can see all the people that within this space, so you can you can look at their content, and then you be the judge of whether or not it's something that you rock with.
yeah, yeah, because even the strategy of putting out all these, you do a channel with nothing but thoughts, and then you get all the dudes to come up there, and then you just start putting Manosphere content in between some of those pics. I mean, like there's a strategy to it. So I'm dead ass serious. You know, you got to sift through the blue pill dudes, but hey. So anyway, it's been great, y'all. I appreciate it. Super chats, I definitely do appreciate that $100 super chat. I appreciate all y'all super chats, even Spirited Conversation with Marcos, Mr. Mister $2 appreciated.
Oh, hey,
Lou
wait a
Media
minute,
with
just real quick,
Mr.
before you
Five.
leave, Edward. Real quick before you leave,
Yeah.
Edward. Make sure everybody that's watching right now. I don't know if let me just check. Let me just check on something real quick. Oh, never mind. He's already off. I was gonna send y'all to somebody else, but he's already done with the stream. But anyways, go ahead, Edward.
Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Roger Report, Super Triz as well. We still waiting for Super Triz to go to Germany so he can show us these built white bitches, trigger these females, the Heidi Klum type chicks.
Oh, never mind. He is still on. Oh, so once you guys leave here, two content creators within this space. If you guys, some of y'all can't get enough. So DJ Kuda is on. Check out DJ Kuda. He's on his third shift stream, as well as Charles Faulkner Jr. He's doing a stream as well.
Yeah, go subscribe to Charles. Get him over that 1,000. Yeah, I'll link it. I'll put it in the community tab.
Oh,
so be looking out for that.
Make sure you let him know I sent you too.
Yeah, and Kuda. Them that niggas need a fucking real channel. 24 hours. That third shift shit. Ooh. But that's actually a really good idea though, the third shift, to be honest with you. Because there's a lot of dudes that either driving. People will talk shit about these 10-hour things, but the reality situation is you have, if you're driving in the middle of the night, if you're driving as far as a trucker, if you're working the third shift, stocking shit. I mean, when I worked in the call center in the Philippines, we worked overnight because we had to deal with the American market. So there's a value to that. So anyway, yeah, y'all make sure y'all jump on Kuda shit and subscribe to Kuda shit too. He only has like 1,220. So let's get his shit up, because he definitely does put together a different type of content, because he does music. He does a different type of vibe over there. I mean, obviously, go check out Charles. Whatever the fuck y'all want to do.
All right,
So with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.